And you see Shakopee lined up on the far side. They've got a big student section there you see on the top of your screen. Before we get started, we're going to get things rolling with our national anthem.
National anthem this evening will be performed by the Eagan High School Concert and Aurora Choirs. The choirs are directed by Mr. Jim Cox. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
And there is a good look at the Eagan student section, best known as the Pit, decked out in the pink tonight. Tackle cancer game here at Eagan High School. As we said a week ago, it was tackle cancer night down in Rosemount, and that game, that was ugly, we said. The final score was 50 for the Rosemount Irish, 7 for the Eagan Wildcats. A game that Eagan hung with them for a little while, but things just got out of control quickly.
Yeah, Mike, it did spiral out of control. It was one of those situations where Eagan had some initial success in the first few minutes of the game, and then all of a sudden a few things started going badly for them, and unfortunately they just couldn't quite summon the mental toughness to get over that and overcome that. Now, at the same time, let's not sleep on Rosemount. That was a heck of a football team. They're well coached. They're very athletic. They do a lot of things well. So, saying that Eagan's mental toughness is the only issue is not fully accurate. But to compete in this game tonight against the Shakopee Sabres, they're going to have to be mentally tough. This is going to be a competitive football game, Mike. No doubt in my mind.
You talk about the mental part, and we talked to the offensive coordinator Adam Copeland for the Wildcats before the game, and he was talking about so much of the practice in this past week was mental related. It was, he said there were too many times where 4 guys would make the right block, but 1 would not, and that would just totally bust up a play, and the Cats get lucky to get back to the line of the scrimmage a lot of times.
Well, as an offensive line, if one guy's not making the right block, it doesn't matter how many other guys are making the right block. The fact of the matter is that if you either all hang together or you hang separately, and you all as a group have got to function as a unit, a cohesive, coherent, executing unit. And if you can't do that, then you're not helping your football team. And so, like you said, Mike, we're going to see tonight, if this offensive line can really put it together, can really help move this football team, because when they've had good blocking, like against Lakeville South 2 weeks ago, when they had some good blocking up front, we saw a lot of number 9, we saw a lot of number 6, we saw a lot of number 8. We saw them moving that football.
And we talking to both coaches before the game, and both Coach Pettin for Shakopee and Coach Hansen for the Wildcats. Both expect this to be one of those games that truly will be won in the trenches. Shakopee's going to get the ball first, by the way. Eagan won the coin flip, and they are deferring to half number 2, so they'll be going right to left. Easy to spot the Cats tonight. They've got the pink socks on every player that's going to be on the field tonight. We asked Coach Hansen before the game where his pink was, and he just kind of went, no, not his cup of tea. So players got the pink trim tonight, and they are excited. The pit is excited. The stands will be shaking here momentarily for the kickoff. Shakopee in the road whites with the red pants. They'll be moving left to right. As we said, Shakopee 1-3. They lost 17-7 at home to Eastview a week ago. A game that the Sabres trailed 10-0 at the break. And talking to their staff, it was really one where they just never got anything going early. And then it was just a matter of having to play catch up. So Willis to kick off for the Wildcats. Back deep for Shakopee. Brian Lett, number 5. Montez Hinton is number 6. Willis is going to swing that right leg, and we are underway from Wildcat Country, Week 4 football action. Shakopee's going to get a good opportunity here out near the 30. That's going to be number 6, Hinton for the Sabres. And Shakopee's going to start, it looks like, just across the 30-yard line here on ETV. Your home for Wildcat Sports, and as always, a special shout out to those of you watching us tonight on the World Wide Web.
Now we're going to see what Eagan can dial up here. There's enough tape now that Shakopee's reviewed that they're going to know what Eagan's going to approach them with. The question becomes, what's Eagan going to do to change that? What's Eagan going to do to give Shakopee a different look, to put themselves in a good place to be successful?
And we said the pit, they are definitely fired up. You saw your screen bouncing there. The camera shot was bouncing, I should say. And Shakopee's going to look to pass here on first down. And that's going to be out far side. That's their main target over there, number 85, Charlie Katona. And he's a guy that Coach Benton said they really want to get worked into this offense more.
Yeah, not only do they want to get him worked into the offense, Coach Hennon was talking about Benton was talking about they have several players that are out with injuries and that kind of thing, and so Charlie Katona is going to see a lot of action tonight. He's a big, strong target on the outside at 6'7", and so he's going to have a big matchup. He's going to create a matchup problem for the Cats.
At quarterback for the Sabres, number 10, David Bigouette. He's been really one of the workhorses this year, along with Jack Casey, who is number 44 for the Shakopee Sabres. And there was Casey with the ball. That time he might have got a couple before he's pushed back by a whole lot of Wildcats. I believe Cole Sackmaster in there as well for Eagan. Cole, who missed the game a week ago down at Rosemount, back on the field. Keep an eye on number 13 tonight in gray.
Well, Sackmaster is back because Emzik is still not healthy and still not playing for these Eagan Wildcats. So we'll see what we can do here in the defensive secondary.
Yeah, because Emzik's still battling a minor knee issue. Coach Hansen very optimistic he'll be available next week when the Cats play Farmington straight ahead with Casey, and he'll fall forward with a couple of Wildcats in there, including number 40 on the play, Zach Merwin. It's going to set up 3rd and about 6 for the Sabres here, the minute gone by in this one.
You know, Mike, looking at the Shakopee Sabres offensive line there, we have a good shot of them there. They're big, but they're not enormous. And so this Eagan front four is going to have a good matchup here for them. Hopefully they can exploit it.
Look at the center, number 70, Eli Lane. He's 6'2", 240, and he's one of the bigger kids on this team. And falls incomplete, another pass attempt that time by the Shakopee Sabres. And they will be forced to punt incomplete to try to Hinton on the far side.
That was a very curious play call. I shouldn't say the play call wasn't curious, but it was a very curiously developing play where it almost looked like there was some misdirection in the backfield. But clearly Eagan was able to sniff that out. I'm not sure if he caught that ball. I'm not sure if he was going to be able to get the first down, Mike.
So Shakopee punt formation 90 seconds into this one. And the kick, it's going to be a high kick. Takes the Eagan return man back to about his own 17, coming near side. Picks up about 4 that time. See if we take a look who was back for the Wildcats this time, as they've got a number of them back there. Indeed, that was McGinley, number 6. Marcus McGinley, the probably second leading rusher on this Wildcats squad. Played a lot both ways last week at Rosemount in a very hot, humid, sticky, uncomfortable environment. Tonight, things are a little bit more fall-like with a temperature probably in the mid-50s. There was a good breeze earlier, but the flag is hanging limp right now in Wildcat country. But yeah, this is football weather as the Cats take over on their own 22-yard line. Ethan Gugino back under center, and he's going to throw it on first down. Tried to go far side, and that's incomplete. Intended for number 12 on the far side, Max Meekin.
Well, the Wildcats have had an excellent start to this football game. They got a 3-and-out in their first. I should take that back. Shakopee did get a first down with their first play of the game, but then they forced them to go 3-and-out after that. Wildcats get the ball just outside their 20-yard line. That time, Gugino dropped back, did a great job of throwing on rhythm. He threw on rhythm there. Unfortunately, the ball was behind the receiver.
You mentioned that Lakeville South game a couple weeks ago. Boy, Gugino was having real trouble every time he dropped back. Good pressure by the Cougars back on that day, and they were really working with him to kind of shorten the drop, get that ball out quicker. And that was exactly what happened there. And actually this time it was Carter Lyons up the middle for a minimal gain for the Wildcats. It's going to set up a 3rd and about 7 for the Eagan Wildcats, who we looked at this stat before the game. Eagan has yet to score in the opening half this year.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here, Mike. I think they're going to break that duck tonight. I think they're going to get some points on the board in this first half.
Gugino, will he throw it? We'll find out. Nope, they're going to hand it off Carter Lyons, 25, and it's going to be punt time for the Wildcats as Carter gets out to about the 29-yard line. Up off the bottom of the pile for Shakopee, number 53, Noah Hoppy. And it's going to be punt time for the Wildcats, and it should be the debut of Joe Kruger, the new Wildcat punter. Let's see, number 3 is Kruger. More of a rugby-style kicker. It's pretty much straight up. And Shakopee, I thought he called the fair catch. He did not. This is going to be Hinton. And Hinton, he's found his seam. Can he go to the house? If he does, it's going to be 58 yards. Hinton down the far sideline, touchdown Sabres. But there is a flag back near where he caught the ball at the Shakopee 40.
Mike, there was my eyes were still behind the play a little bit while you were calling it out, and we saw that flag come out, and we're going to have a personal foul penalty or unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on someone. What's unclear to me is whether there was an altercation between a Sabre and a Wildcat, and it's unclear to me exactly who they're going to throw that flag on.
I stand corrected. I believe that was Lett, not Hinton. My bad. 5, not 6. And I agree that the Sabre lost his helmet, and I'm going to guess this might be against the Cats. Indeed it is. What that means? Touchdown Sabres.
It certainly is going to mean a touchdown. We'll see if they will probably assess the penalty on the kickoff, I would imagine. Although I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Shakopee would have the option of moving the ball half the distance to the goal if they were going to go for a 2-point conversion.
Correct.
So they could move it up, but it looks like they're coming out in kick formation, and that we're going to see Micah. I believe that's 80. Is that 82? Micah Allen?
Looks like Zach Coleman, actually. Trying to read the number. Let's get his back to us a little bit. Bottom line is it's 6-0 Shakopee with 8:54 to go here in the opening quarter. Snap is down, kick is up, plenty of distance, and it is plenty accurate as well. 7-0 Shakopee Sabres.
Well, Mike, the Sabres on tape have watched the Wildcats in the last 2 weeks really struggle in the punt game on special teams, and in the last 2 weeks, we're talking about punts being blocked. This time, there was excellent blocking up front. Looked like a good job done by the line to keep people back. But as you pointed out, it looked like everyone was moving in slow motion, almost like they expected the return man to call for a fair catch, and of course he didn't, and took it to the house for 6. But that coverage is going to have to be better, Mike. If they're going to keep punting the ball, they're going to have to cover better than that.
And I agree with what you just said. I thought he called a fair catch as well. And I think, everybody did kind of stop. And this really just follows what we've said the last couple of weeks to coin the phrase that you get credit for, adventures in punting. Good kick that time. And as you said, everything was right except the coverage. And so Shakopee, because of the personal foul, the Sabres are going to kick off from the Wildcat 45-yard line. Again, we asked this question, I think it was a couple weeks ago at South, is do you just boot it into the end zone? Do you pooch kick it?
I can't imagine why a coach would want to put it back out through the end zone. Why not squib it, see if you can get a lucky bounce, see if you can have something funny happen, and you're not going to give up that much field position. You got a chance to get the ball back.
And Zach Coleman is the kicker. 2 Wildcat returners are back on the goal line. And a little short kick, and at the 25-yard line, caught by one of the upbacks for the Wildcats. And it looks like it's is that number 18 for Eagan, I believe, Olin.
And that's exactly
Merwin, I should say, got it.
Check that. That's exactly, Mike, what you want to do in that situation. And that's a good play. That's a good play by Shakopee. If that up back drops the ball, if there's some sort of miscommunication, if it's a you get it, no you get it kind of situation, that creates a real challenge for Eagan. And they give up virtually no field position because he can start on the 25-yard line.
Absolutely. You put that into the end zone, you gain 5 yards.
That's right.
Yep. So Gugino on the offense, down 7-0. Straight ahead run there by the Wildcats. That ran into, looks like, about 5 Shakopee Sabres in on that tackle. First man in appears for Shakopee was number 9 for the Sabres. As I flip the sheet over, that's Vlad Freitas.
And folks at home, keep your eye on number 33. Connor Raines was picked out by Coach Benton as being one of his guys who's going to really make a big difference on his side of the ball. He's lining up there as almost like a strong safety outside linebacker type. Now he's moving into the slot at the top of your screen there. But keep an eye on him and see what he can do. He might even be coming on a blitz one of these days.
Cats sending a man in motion near side. This will be Meekin across the 30. First down for the Wildcats out near the 38-yard line. Nice run out there by Max Meekin, the junior halfback.
That was great seal blocking on the inside. That was a great job of sealing. I think that might have been Lions sealing around the corner. It was a little hard to tell from up here. And these numbers, of course, as you say, Mike, are blue on gray, or a little bit challenging to see. But a great seal block turns into a first down for the Wildcats.
First one of the game tonight for the Wildcats. I thought I read somewhere Eagan had 3 first downs in that Rosemount game. Near side, Lions does a nice job hanging on to the football. Gets out across the 40, ends up with about a 4, maybe a 5-yard play. Coming up off the bottom of the pile for the Shakopee Sabres. And limping maybe just a little bit is number 87, Dustin Pieper. Gain of 4 that time, as we watch the replay. Good job of Shakopee to string out with the runner.
Yeah, number 85 or 87 for Shakopee, Pieper. He might be one of the tallest defensive ends I've seen in quite some time here in high school football. Kid's 6'5".
Gugino maybe changing the play. He's got 2 receivers left, a couple in the backfield. Fresh set of downs for the Cats. Gino straight ahead, handoff lower in his shoulder, but not getting very far at all. Here's the Eagan ball carrier. I believe that's going to be Lions. And indeed it is. Number 53 in there for the Sabres, Noah Hoppy. Second time we've called Noah tonight. Maybe 1 if they're being generous there, and then they are going to be generous for Carter. So I stand corrected. I said that was a fresh set of downs. That was second down.
Brings up a big third down here, Mike.
Shakopee brought their mascot here tonight, I see. Not sure what that is exactly. They are the Sabres. Maybe a saber-toothed tiger, I'm guessing, is what that's supposed to be. But Cats do move the chains as we try to figure out the mascot. First down, Carter Lions, a 6-yard burst up near midfield.
Well, Lions.
Yep, go ahead.
I was going to say, excuse me, Mike. I was going to say Lions needs to keep the faith here. He had a couple of runs of modest gain there. He had a nice surge, and this line's firing off pretty well. If he can just be patient, pick that hole, and find some daylight behind this line, he's going to be okay.
Gugino now with a fresh set of downs. And he's going to go to the air far side. Let's try to find his tight end. That's going to be a minimal pickup over there. Number 87, the recipient is Adam Call. Got maybe a couple of yards that time. Switch from the home 49 to the visitor 49.
Well, it was a nice pitch and catch by Gugino. Nice job of getting back and throwing on rhythm. There wasn't a whole lot there, and he kept it safe. He threw it to the outside, Mike, but really, I'm impressed with Gugino. The first couple weeks he was playing, he was struggling back there a little bit to throw on rhythm. Tonight, he's throwing on rhythm the 2 times we've asked him to do it.
Let's see what the Cats do here on a 2nd and 8 into Shakopee territory for the first time tonight. Carter Lions, that's a good guess. And he's going to fall forward, make something out of nothing. He does get a couple on that play. And there was that number 33 you mentioned, Connor Raines, for the Shakopee Sabres with the stop. So it's going to be 3rd and about 6 for the home team.
Now, the interesting thing here is here, Mike, from my perspective, I'm looking at this field, and I know it's early in this football game, but I might think of this as 4-down territory. Given that as long as we don't lose yardage on 3rd down, I think this is maybe 4-down territory. So that might change how I call these plays here on 3rd down.
You know what? And I was going to say, I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. Cats are going to send a man in motion, and they're going to try to come near side with Lions. And he'll get across the 45, 44, keeps those legs turning, spins to the outside, and he's going to be close to the first down, but he is going to be, looks like just shy. They're going to say actually a couple of yards shy. And Lions has a helmet issue. He's going to have to come off. Now, does that change your thinking at all?
I guess from my perspective, as you see here, what a nice hard run, some good blocking up front. Need to stay on those blocks a little bit, but no, I think even if Lions I think McGinley could get 2 yards or 3 yards for me, but it is a 4th and about 3.
And you got McGinley 6, Cole Gibson is 1.
Yep.
McGinley will be the deep back in this formation for the Wildcats. Well, Gugino had that quick throw. They'll give it to McGinley. Gets to the right side. Can he get to the corner? Throwing on the wheels. There he goes. 35 down near the 33-yard line. Great job by McGinley on 4th down.
An excellent job by the offensive line that time of sealing that end and giving him an option. Now McGinley still, no question, Mike, had to make a great play to get to the outside and really turn on the Jets. But as you watch here, you see a nice seal block. There's a couple of 1 or 2 pancakes there, and McGinley, it's a foot race, right? It's a sprint. It's like a track meet. Just who can get there to that point of the space faster, and McGinley beat him there. That's exactly what this football team needs to have happen.
10th play of the drive upcoming for the Wildcats on a drive that started back at their own 25-yard line. Gugino hands it off. McGinley Runs into, well, about 6 Shakopee Sabres that time. Coming up off the bottom of the pile for the Sabres, number 11, Caden Feeblecorn. Also hustling over there was big number 99, Travis Barrett. No gain, they're going to say, as the clock down to 4:17 to go in the opening quarter here on ETV. Glad you're with us here tonight on a Friday night in Wildcat country.
You know, these Eagan Wildcats, if they keep this up, Mike, this is not something we've seen a lot. This is the 11th play of the drive, if I'm reading your count right, and this is going to start wearing on these Shakopee defenders.
See Gugino is going to send a man in motion. That's Olin. Straight ahead, McGinley finds a little bit of a hole, and he gets up near the 30-yard line before he's wrestled down by Freitas. So it's going to be a 3rd and about 5. I think we already know this is going to be four-down territory if they don't make it.
That's right. Yeah, no, but you know what? In some ways, really, Mike, as you watch the replay there, you saw a nice play. McGinley made a great run and turned to the left to run to daylight. Now that hole might have been a gap over, but he made a great read there. It opens up the playbook. You can do something different. As long as you don't lose the yardage on 3rd down, you can go for it on 4th down.
Let's see what Gugino and the Cats do. Shakopee thinking blitz. And they're going to come. Gugino, quick throw over the middle. Too far, just off the hands. I believe that was that Olin, the intended target. Coming across the middle. Indeed it was. He had him too, but let him just a hair too far. So 4th and about a long 5, short 6 for the Eagan Wildcats. And you got to go for it.
You absolutely have to go for it. Mike, I would be interested to see if you gave Gugino that play one more time, whether he could pull that off. Because I wonder, because as you say, the ball was just off the outside hands of Oland. I'd love to see him try that again. We'll see what happens. We'll see what they can dial up.
Cats need to get to the 25. Gugino is going to stop, looks left, so he's under pressure. Gugino scrambles, gets a block, he's in big trouble, and he's dropped for a huge loss. Shakopee is going to take over outside their own 40, and there was that big number 87 you mentioned earlier, Dustin Pieper for the Shakopee Sabres.
Well, it's a 3-step drop, Mike. You watch here, it's a 3-step drop. He's not, Gugino he can't hold on to that football. The offensive line on a 3-step drop is blocking to keep people's hands down, the defensive line's hands down, and attacking the legs and attacking the lower regions. There's just, that's not a situation where you can hold on to the ball and you can't run around with it. And, it's something that, Gugino's going to have to work with and figure out. And he's trying to make a play.
Shakopee's going to run up the middle. That's number 28, first carry of the night for Timmy Blue, the 5'6" junior. Fully expected to see Jack Casey on a lot this game, and then they throw Blue at us just to show Eagan a little something different. And hey, 5-yard pickup worked just fine.
You'll take that on 1st down. I mean, that is one thing on that drive. As impressive as it was, Mike, we weren't getting a lot on 1st down, and that was creating some challenges for us.
Biguet leads them up to the line for the Sabres. He's going to come near side looking to throw on 2nd down. Near side got his man, and that's going to be a 1st down at the Eagan 41 on the reception by number 85, his 2nd of the game, Charlie Katona. Cats looking for maybe a little offensive interference, but none forthcoming. And it's going to be an 18-yard completion for Shakopee.
I think the Cats have an argument. I'm not sure, as you watch the replay, we might be able to see the replay, the fact that the defensive back goes down. Now, again, how much of that is him losing his balance versus contact with Katona, we'll never know.
Shakopee fresh set of downs on the Eagan side of midfield. There's going to be, I assume that's Blue once again. Look at that pile move. Good surge there by the Shakopee offensive line. Blue leading the way, but boy, he got some big help in there from big number 62, Tyler Hart. Hart checks in at 6 foot 260. Number 62 there for the Shakopee Sabres. 7-yard run that time for the Saberback. Cats looking to get something going, making a big defensive stand here. Let's get some momentum back on the home side. And there's Casey. Actually, it's going to be quarterback keep. Straight ahead, down across the 30. 1st down on the keeper by Biguet. 1st down for the Sabres at the Wildcat 29.
Well, that time the action went to the left, and Biguet kept the ball, and then just basically ran a kind of a hard dive to the right, and of course the action going to the left pulled most of the defenders that way. Luckily, we did have somebody in the defensive secondary staying home.
Biguet by far the leading rusher thus far in the year for the Shakopee Sabres. Here's Casey. He's the number 2 rusher for Shakopee. And again, a good surge. That time's going to get him down near the red zone. Looks like they're going to be at about the 22-yard line. So we're going to say 7 yards that time for Shakopee.
This Shakopee offensive line is using a lot of angle blocks, Mike. They're angling and opening holes that way. The way you beat that is, first of all, you got to be more physical than the other side. But second of all, you basically have to you have to fill those gaps. So when you see somebody blocking down, expect that the ball is going to be coming through that gap. And I think that's what the linebackers are going to have to start doing.
Casey in blue, they're in the backs right here for Shakopee in this formation. Maybe nope, they're going to throw it instead here. Going near side, trying to get his man. There's pushing from both players, and probably just as well no flag was thrown. I think both players were pushing towards the corner of the end zone. And you know what? On a 2nd and 3, why not try that?
I think that's an excellent call on 2nd and 3. And Big Oet is in a situation where he's a sophomore quarterback. He's going to get experience. And he's going to learn. But he's got a big receiver out there. He just needs to throw it up a little more with a little more air to it.
They will look into the sideline. They're going to look at maybe changing things up there. 3 receivers set for the Sabres on a 3rd and 3 inside 39 seconds to go in the quarter. Fake to Casey, throw it far side. That's a backwards pass, and it's going to get out of bounds. Intended for Elijah Olford over there.
And I agree with you, Mike. That is going to be a fumble out of bounds, but we do have.
Actually, I believe that was Montez Hinton, the intended target. 6, not 8, but we do have a flag. Shakopee seems to indicate it's on the Wildcats.
This is going to be a relatively interesting call. I think if the officials are talking about it, I think they're talking maybe defensive holding. Maybe that the idea that somebody was holding a receiver from getting into a pattern. Oh, you got roughing the passer.
And that's a 15.
Okay, that's an interesting call, Mike, especially since it wasn't a forward pass. I'm sure the rules protect the quarterback in any event there, but
let's take a look.
It was not a forward pass. And there might have been a little bit of embellishment there. There was contact, but might have been a little bit of embellishment.
So, embellishment or not, the patriotic student section for the Shakopee Sabres, they're looking to get some excitement here. It's 1st and 10 for their squad down on the Wildcat 11. Fumble! Ball is sitting there loose. Who's going to grab it? It's going to be a scrum.
I think Egan's got that football. Oh, they're saying
Shakopee.
They're saying 2nd down, but you got 2 Egan players with the ball. Oh, it's unlucky.
Yeah, well, Eagan fans think it's Wildcat football.
That's really unlucky.
Instead, it's going to be, looks like it was big 62 out there. Tyler Hart falling on it.
Well, it's a really heads-up play by Tyler Hart to be able to get on that football. And it's an unfortunate, the good news is they're back another 10 yards. The bad news is like I said, looked like an Eagan Wildcat maybe came up with that football, but in any event, it's going to be 2nd down and a long.
And that's going to happen when we go to quarter number 2 because the horn just sounded, actually the siren here in Wildcat country. 12 minutes gone by, and it's the Shakopee Sabres on a 58-yard punt return by Brian Lett. Lead the Wildcats by a 7-0 count. We said it's a gorgeous night.
There was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Welcome back on a long for Shakopee. It's going to be it was 3rd and about 19, or 2nd 19, I should say. Casey, the ball carrier that time for the Shakopee Sabres. Going to get the ball down to about the 16-yard line, maybe a 3-yard pickup. And boy, a lot of options here for Shakopee, but you would think they've got to go to the air.
I would think they would go to the air. At the same time, they may be, they haven't not, like the Wildcats this year, Mike, they have not had a lot of success through the air. Although they do have a couple of very tall, big receivers that create matchup problems. Maybe a floater and letting 85 or 84 go for that ball. Maybe that's what they need to be doing.
It's going to be 3rd and 15. Straight ahead, that's the quarterback keep. Hello, he gets met by Sackmaster. Minimal gain that time by Big Oet. That's a 1-yard pickup, and now it looks like you would think field goal situation for the Sabres on a fine play by Sackmaster. Watch 13 come through. Does a nice job, fights off the block. 4th and 4, or 4th and 14, I should say. Sabres going for it. Need to get down to about the 2.
Egan's going to watch this snap count, make sure that ball gets snapped before they come across.
Top of the screen, you've got 85 Katona for the Sabres. He might be the man they're looking at. They're going to roll that way. Good pressure by the Cats. Oh, it slips, eludes 1. Can he elude 2? No chance, and he's dropped back at the 27-yard line. Sackmaster with the defensive stop for the Cats.
Well, that's a huge defensive play for these Eagan Wildcats. Not only do they get some good field position coming out of this, they prevent Shakopee from putting more points on the board. What an excellent athletic event. What a great effort.
It was Ryan Meekin had the first crack at finishing the job. To their credit, they spun out, but right there was Sackmaster. And the Cats trying to get the pit excited here on a tackle cancer night. See the Eagan cheer team at the bottom of the screen. They were out there before the game with the junior cheer team, part of a clinic that happened here last weekend. Cats still going to bust a long one. Can they go to the house? All the way, 10-5. Touchdown, Wildcats, 6 points. Eagan, got to be Carter Lyons.
It's Carter Lyons racing to the end zone for the Eagan Wildcats. What an excellent block on the left side. The offensive line has to get big credit for that. And Mike, the momentum change in this first half. The stop on 4th down, the play to the outside to the left, Carter Lyons going to the distance. I mean, that's exactly what you needed if you're an Eagan Wildcat football fan.
A block there. Trying to see that was on the left side. That was big 72 to spring him. That was Tyler Howes.
I told you they were going to score in the first half.
Yes, you did. Willis on for the PAT attempt. Unofficially, that's the 2nd straight game Lions went 73 yards to the house. Plenty of leg, and did he split the uprights? Looks like just got it inside that left one. And we got ourselves a tie football game with 10:14 to go in the opening half here on ETV.
Well, it's been a while, Mike, since this home crowd has had a lot to cheer about. I mean, they struggled here against Minnetonka, not scoring any points. It's going to be a challenge for them to against these Shakopee Sabres tonight. But right now, they're doing exactly what they need to be doing. And right now, if you're a Shakopee Sabre fan, or if you're on the Shakopee sidelines, you got to be saying, how are we going to get this momentum back? We stopped these guys on 4th down. We scored a touchdown. How are we going to make this work? Now it'll be interesting to see. Now maybe Shakopee doesn't think they could kick that field goal, but it'd be interesting to see if they try a field goal a little bit later, how they do, because that would have been a position where you could have maybe tried for three more points. And if you miss, you get the ball right there, as opposed to the big sack, which gives Eagan another 20 yards of field position.
Yeah, there was right now, though, the flag is hanging limp at the north end here in Wildcat country. So Wills is going to kick off for Eagan. Trying to see who's back deep for Shakopee. Looks like number 5, Lett, is back there, along with, I believe that's Hinton on the far side. Lett's the one that went to the house on the punt return back in the opening quarter for the Lone Sabre points. Great to see the Pit have something to get excited about here. And it's a tackle cancer night, so it's a great cause. They were out collecting money out there, but just inside the gate, it looked like that bucket was getting pretty full. The band is fired up. There goes Wills. He'll kick down. That's going to be Hinton this time from about his 8. Hinton far side as he tries to get out in front of his Sabre bench. Good surge there by the Shakopee return man. He gets out across the 35-yard line. So excellent starting position for the Sabres. Looks like they're going to spot it at the 37-yard line.
Well, that coverage team, Mike, is going to have to tighten up a little bit. That looked like a bit of a leaky coverage, that Eagan was running there. They had the whole field covered, yet there was no way that ball was ever going to make it to the far side, the near side of that sideline. So they're going to have to want to think about that. But, keep this in mind. Shakopee's got 4 people on that front line. If this game gets close at the end, the Cats might take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
On a kickoff return.
1, 2, 3, 4 receivers. Casey in kind of a wing formation for Shakopee. And they're going to hand it off. Here comes Hinton. He tries to get bounced to the outside. Good coverage by the Wildcats. And he's going nowhere. Going to actually lose about a yard on that play. What a play there by the Eagan Wildcat defense. A number of players, Sackmaster among them, along with 44, Meakin.
Yeah. Meakin and Sackmaster did an excellent job there of holding their edge and not giving it up. As you see there, he keeps his outside shoulder free, and it's not until late in the play where his outside shoulder gets taken in, then he bounces back and makes the tackle.
2nd and 11 for the Sabres. 9.5 to go before intermission. Casey's going to move to the right of his quarterback. Quick snap. Rolling. They're looking to fire it away. They're going to keep rolling. Good pressure there by Meakin. Throw it downfield, and it is intercepted by the Wildcats at the 44-yard line of Shakopee. As he was coming up with that football. Might have been, was it McGinley? I'm not sure.
Mike, I think that was McGinley.
His numbers are so hard to we'll get a better look here on the replay. Oh, yeah, definitely McGinley.
That was great pressure by the Wildcats that time, and Bigowet, the quarterback for the Sabres, he's showing a little bit of green, a little bit of inexperience. He really heaved that up, and that was a situation where he wasn't able to set his feet, wasn't able to really put his arm into it, and as a result, McGinley was able to really make a great play on it and secure this ball for the Wildcats.
Taylor Elder, he's ready to snap the ball to Gugino. Momentum definitely on the home side. Gugino, short drive, he's going to air it out near side. And there's pushing around. We've got a penalty coming. And Hansen sure thinks it's on Shakopee. We'll see.
I think Mr. Hansen is correct. I think this is going to be a defensive pass interference and a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Let's take a look. Our referee tonight is Seth Rourke. He and his compatriots, I guess you would call them, are standing at the 45-yard line. Let's take a look here as you look at the replay. Yeah, that's got to be on Shakopee.
It certainly is.
Although the Cats are moving backwards. Okay. There you go. Now we get somebody get the Eagan offense pointed in the right direction there.
Well, I think these guys have been watching too much pro football, where they think that the spot of the foul is going to be where you're going to mark that ball, and
right.
Of course in high school it's a 15-yard penalty with a first down.
From the Shakopee 40 go the Wildcats 3 minutes into this quarter. Bounce into the outside. I believe that was Lions' far side. Good to see Dylan McGuire, number 5 in the game for Eagan. He missed missed the game a couple of weeks back. It's like number 50 on the stop for the Shakopee Sabres. First time we called Isaac Nesberg's name tonight.
Mike, if Hansen draws that kind of coverage again on the far side, he's matched up against he's matched up against Josh Welch there on that play, or at least he was. You wonder if you can keep going back to that.
Lions drags a couple of tacklers, maybe picks up 2 on that play. Going off that right side, trying to run over there behind Cooper Carson, number 74, the big left tackle for the Wildcats. Of course, Cody Smith, he's the big offensive lineman on the right side for the Wildcats. Cody had his ankle taped up pretty good there tonight. We saw him in warm-ups, and sounds like it's been going on all year, but with the pink tape, it just stands out that much more. Coach said nothing to worry about. 3rd and 6 for the Cats. They need to get to the 30 of Shakopee. So the Lions, left side, looking for a hole. And as he powers, looks like he's going to be about a yard short. Will stay in bounds, maybe 2 yards short with his spot. So it's going to be, looks like 4th and about 2 upcoming for the Wildcats.
Mike, one of the most impressive things about Carter Lyons was how patient he was waiting for that block to set up. He waited for that blocking to set up, and then he found a hole, found an opening, and then popped it through. That was impressive run. Again, it goes for 3.5 yards. So on the stat sheet, on the score sheet, it doesn't look like it's that big a deal. but it really helps this offensive line because these guys know that if we keep blocking, Carter Lyons is going to find a hole. He's going to find his seam, and he's going to make something good happen.
Well, let's see if we can find a seam that'll get him at least 2 yards here on 4th down for the Wildcats. Shakopee really stuffing the box on this one. Give it to Lyons, and boy, good pressure, not going to happen. Good job by the Shakopee defense. Raines, first man in, number 33. Carter maybe got half a yard at most.
Well, I think that time Eagan ran into the immovable object. As you said, Mike, as you were setting up the play, the Shakopee Sabres stacked the box there. They had every gap full, every hat-on helmet. I'm not sure there was much of anything that could have happened there. And frankly, the backfield looked like the timing wasn't quite right either. It looked like Lyons maybe was stutter stepping when he should have been able to take a bigger step, and the timing of that in the backfield maybe just wasn't where it needed to be either.
Sabretooth looking for something to cheer about over there on the Shakopee side. That's what we're naming it now, the mascot.
Sabretooth.
We're going to go Sabretooth. I'm not sure. We'll try and find out if it's got a real name. Whoa, man, slips going in motion. Shakopee changed up their quarterback here, by the way. And good job by the Eagan defense to snuff out that play. That's going to be a loss of about 3 maybe that time. Daniel Koulis in at quarterback right now, number 2, the senior. That's going to be a loss of about, let's see, it looks like about 4 on that play.
Bigowet earlier in, now with Koulis now taking over for Shakopee. Bigowet was showing a little bit of his age, I think, a little bit of his inexperience in a couple of the last couple of series. So let's see if Koulis can come in and settle things down for Shakopee.
Well, hand it off to Casey. That's a good start. He's wrapped up nicely by the Wildcat D. I'm going to guess, is that Downs first man in? No, it's not. It's Herman, actually, 47. Yep. 47, Will Herman, the big junior defensive end for the Wildcats, and that's about a 2-yard pickup for the Sabres.
Well, these Sabres watched the film from last week against Rosemount. What did Rosemount do? They killed the Wildcats between the tackles. They killed with the hard dive going between the guard and the tackle. They just ate them up. So, I would expect to see Casey over and over and over again with a dash of blue on top.
I was going to say killed is a pretty strong word, and if you could find a stronger word, I think that would suffice as well to describe what happened down at Rosemount last week. 3rd and long for the Sabres. Deep drop, setting up the screen. There's Casey. Hello! Fumble. Who's got the football? Cats had a guy slide in. They're going to say the ball was incomplete.
Well, the official on the far side, I think, may have bailed out Shakopee there because with an incomplete call, because I'm sure he's making the call he sees, but it bails out Shakopee because Shakopee was going nowhere, and there was an excellent chance that ball was going to come loose and able for the Wildcats to pick it up.
I think that was Gamboni that popped him, and he was getting a lot of congratulations. McKinley back deep for the Wildcats as Shakopee in punt formation with 5:22 to go before the half. McKinley's is he gonna field this one? And he'll take it to the 34. Well, and he's gonna go nowhere. I think he had 5 Shakopee Sabres around him. On the other hand, to stop the ball from bouncing any further.
It did. I think if I was Coach Hansen, I might say to the young man, let's field that as cleanly as we can, and let's just fair call for a fair catch if we're going to do that again.
Absolutely. So 5:12 to go. You think Gugino and the Eagan offense about to come out onto the field?
Well, based on how they've been successful, at least getting a chunk or 2 of yardage in the air, I would expect on 1st or 2nd down here, Mike, to see Gugino try to air this out, find Hansen, find Meekin, somebody on the outside. But now, as I say that, of course, they go double tight into the wing.
Of course. Call your big tight end is 87. They've had some success finding him on those little quick passes over the middle. Gino, McGinley out near the 40-yard line, pickup of 5. He's kind of wrestled down out there by Jonathan Oaklers. Good first down run there by the Eagan back.
Well, these Wildcats definitely are feeling it right now. I mean, that offensive line is teeing off, Mike, and you can see it in their body language that the sideline is enthused, the pit is fired up. Everyone thinks that they can compete in this football game, and that's a very dangerous. If you're Shakopee, you don't want to let the Wildcats think they can compete. It's too late. They're already doing it.
2nd and 5 as we approach 4.5 to go in the 2nd quarter here on ETV. Gugino, he's going to throw it. He's going to go far side. There's it right there. First down out near midfield. And indeed, there's Hansen, the receiver. You talked about it. 10-yard pickup there for number 84, Derek Hansen, the junior wideout.
Oh, Mike, not only a 10-yard pickup, but did you see the physical play with the defensive back? Did you see Hansen rip that away from the defensive back? What a great job catching the ball and then staying with it. I mean, how many times does that ball either come out for an incomplete pass, maybe it's intercepted, but in that time Hansen protected that thing with his life. Excellent job by young Mr. Hansen.
Saw the pit pretty in pink tonight on a tackle cancer game. They're seeing if their squad can march downfield here, get one before the half. And that ball is going to fall incomplete as he tried to find his tight end coming across the middle. And slow to get up that's Oland, actually, the wideout. And he'll jog off.
Now, Mostrom, the defensive back for Shakopee, made an excellent play on that one, Mike. He timed it just perfectly. He made contact when he had to make contact, but not too early. Really, excellent job there. But here's the thing: I'm really impressed with Gugino throwing the ball on rhythm. He's dropping back and throwing it on rhythm. Seems to have learned from that fourth down play where he held on to the ball too long. Good job there of throwing it on rhythm.
Pitt's starting to jump up and down, well, albeit briefly. You saw it as the camera was bouncing. Shakopee, they're going to bring the extras. They are. Somewhat of a pickup. Gugino's going to just throw it out near side. That was just to get it out of harm's way. Glad he hit the sideline. There was no Wildcat within about 10 yards of where that football ended up.
That was an excellent play by Gugino. That was an excellent play to get that ball and not try to do anything silly with the football. Be smart with the football. Come back for third down. You've got just under 4 minutes left. You're at midfield. You're probably in 4-down territory, Mike. So let's be smart with that football and let's do something really really smart with it. Threw it away. It was a great job.
Yeah, I think it was Donovan Monroe that burst through for Shakopee. Shakopee, maybe they're going to bring him again. Nope, give it to McGinley. Needs to get down to the 40. He's got 45, and there we go. It's down to the 40-yard line. Is he going to have enough? Looks like they're going to spot him just shy of the sticks. It's 9-yard pickup by number 6, so it's going to be 4th and short. And a good job of Shakopee to kind of get over there eventually, not let him turn that corner more than he did. Bryce Janke was there to finish him off. Timeout taken by the Eagan Wildcats with 3:47 to go here in the second quarter in a 7-7 football game.
A smart timeout certainly by the Eagan Wildcats and Coach Hansen to make sure that they get this. To get this, to set themselves up for an opportunity to get some points before the halftime is essential. I mean, it's going to be, imagine the momentum change here, Mike, from the punt return touchdown that, we're feeling like we can't compete. Here's the same old thing over again. Now we stop them on 4th down, then we go take, Lions takes it to the house, and all of a sudden everybody's excited, everyone's believing that they can get it. Now let's see what the coaches can dial up here. I mean, I personally would love to see Gugino just go forward, right? Get a good surge with a big offensive line that is bigger than the Shakopee defensive line. If they can get a good surge. At the same time, history would tell you that they'll probably turn around and hand it off to Lions.
Right.
But Shakopee knows that. So exactly. maybe it'd be best to have Gugino take that snap, hesitate for a half second, and just plunge forward on whichever side of the center he thinks he can get a half a yard.
It's like Austin McCall right over the Wildcats center, and it's going to be first down Eagan on a quick count down to the 38-yard line. McGinley, the ball carrier.
And that works for me, Mike. I can live with a first down, regardless of how that happens. But at the same time, it's every time you pull that ball back, it just makes you just a little bit nervous because you're wondering about that timing.
This will be the 7th play of a drive that started back at the Wildcat 35, and 4 runs and 2 passes so far.
These Wildcats have really put together some nice drives tonight, Mike.
Gino, he's going to look to throw this time again, a little over the middle, and a minimal pickup that time. Might have got a yard on that play, if that.
Now it looked like Meakin across the middle. I'm not sure if that was a screen. It looked kind of like a screen. They were setting up a screen, a middle screen, a tight end screen, but golly, there wasn't much blocking for Meakin out front. The whole point of the screen is to get a couple of blockers out front so that he can catch the ball unmolested and turn up the field. But that was a curious execution of that call.
So 2nd and 9, and they are going to give him 1 officially on that play. Down to the 37-yard line. And it's going to be 3rd and really long this time for the Wildcats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unofficially, I counted 7 Shakopee Sabres there at the end of that tackle on McGinley. Among them, Travis Barrett, 99. And that's going to drop it back to the 41, so that's a 4-yard loss for the home team.
Well, Mike, when you were talking to Coach Benton before the game, you were asking him, who are your big hitters on defense? And he kind of hesitated. He said, you know what? We don't have any big hitters. We've just got a lot of hitters. And so, clearly there was a concept, the team defense, swarming team defense concept for the Sabres was definitely what they were employing.
2:10 and counting before halftime. Eagan 2 timeouts. Shakopee has 3. Third and about 14 for Eagan. Gugino is going to air it out near side, going deep. He's got just off the hands of his intended target. And that is indeed Hansen. Good coverage back there by a number of Shakopee Sabres. I believe Nicholas Mostrom was the man closest to Hansen.
Yeah, Mostrom that time was definitely playing some really good defense on Hansen. Hansen didn't have much of an option there. The ball was just out of his reach, but even if that had been on target, it would have been a tough catch because there was a defender to the inside and a defender to the outside.
So Joe Kruger into punt for the Wildcats. First one didn't go so well. As Shakopee took that one back to the house. Good high kick. And Shakopee man takes it at about the 4. That's Lett once again. Look out. And good tackle from behind. As he got out near the 20-yard line. So Shakopee with 3 timeouts and a $1:42 to work with.
Okay, we definitely, Mike, have got to mention Adam Bartle's name for making that tackle. He got beat. And the returner makes it to the outside, and Bartle hustles and catches him by the shoelaces. If not, that returner's, he's going to get to the 40 or a 35, 40-yard line. So excellent effort, great hustle by Adam Bartle that time.
So let's see what the Sabres try to dial up as the Eagan band, and they start to work their way down towards the field. Let's try to see who's at quarterback for Shakopee. Looks like they're back. Looks like Big O's back in there for the Sabres. Hands it off to Casey. Casey plows his way ahead out near the 24-yard line. Let's see if Coach Benton chooses to take a timeout here for the Sabres.
Well, Mike, I would imagine if Big Owed is back in the game, the one thing Shakopee wants to do is now Shakopee takes their first time out of the first half. One thing that Shakopee Sabres probably want to do here is get the ball, first of all, out of their own red zone, and they want to move that football down. I would imagine Casey and Blue are going to be on, at least until they get one first down, you can almost bet the house that they're going to run this football on this down, and probably even the next down if they don't get the first down.
Eagan will get the ball to start the second half for those of you that are looking ahead to that. Speaking of looking ahead, next week the Wildcats play Farmington for homecoming. The game is not at this field, however. The Vikes will be up at the TCO Performance Center, where the Vikings' new headquarters are. As you look at the upcoming TV games, TCO Stadium. We'll work on the typo there, but then Friar Lake and Eastview coming up. But tickets for that one are going to go on sale here at the school on Monday. It'll be the 24th. All that information available on the EHS website, but student tickets go on sale during the day Monday, and I think for everybody else they're late afternoon, but definitely check that out. They are expecting a full house up there next Friday night, and for Eagles fans, you want to see a sack just like that. As Shakopee is they might have got a yard, so I guess that would negate the idea of a sack. Look at him one on that play.
Well, Mike, this is why I'm not a high school football coach. I thought for sure that they would have run the football to Casey there, gotten the first down, keep the clock moving, give Begawet an opportunity to move the ball deep out of his own end. And now I think Eagan's going to take a timeout here because they're saying, hey, it's 3rd down and 4. If we get a stop here, we're going to make you guys punt the ball back to us.
Well, about 10 seconds ago, I was wondering why the Cats don't take a timeout, and a little slow on the trigger there was the home team. But mentioning that game next Friday up at the TCO Performance Center, tickets are going to be same as a regular game, $7 for adults, $5 for students. I'm just looking at what it said on the website. There will be a limited number of tickets available. You see, and ETV, by the way, will be there for that one up at TCO Stadium. By the way, those of you that want to get out early, they said no tailgating. So, and by the way, special game time, 7:30. Kickoff for that one.
Eagan High School Athletics Director Sandy Setter did indicate that there would be virtually no chance of tickets at the gate. So do your best to get your tickets ahead of time.
Tight formation here for the Sabres. And they're going to come near side. Read very, very well by the Wildcats. It was that, I believe that was Herman, first man in. And timeout taken, I believe, by the Wildcats.
It was Herman and 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 of his best friends. I'm not sure how many. I think the Shakopee ball carrier that time, and forgive me, I didn't catch his number, although he deserves a Purple Heart because he was definitely under siege that time. It sets up a very interesting situation here. The Wildcats have now used their final timeout, but it is 4th down and long, and I have to believe that Shakopee's going to punt this football. I can't imagine that they would not punt the football. It'll be interesting to see what kinds of instructions Coach Hansen gives if McGinley's back to return this football. You know, what do you tell McGinley? Do you try to field this ball? If you can field it clean and go for it, go for it. But if it's anything but a clean and easy kick, just get out of the way, get our offense back on the field so we can throw a couple of big bombs to Hansen or to Meakin.
On the other hand, you just send Tan at the punter and just tell McGinley you're fair catching this no matter what back there.
And that's an excellent option, Mike. That's another excellent option.
So you know Shakopee's going to want to get this one out in a hurry. Well, there's 51.9 to go here in the opening half. 7-7 Sabres and Wildcats.
You know, the last Sabre punt, Mike, that McGinley did have that return, that very short return. The Wildcats did send. They put the block on, so they were sending the house or almost the house. Okay, maybe they sent most of the house.
Good snap. Good kick. Boy, the Cats did send a bunch. And they're going to get excellent field position with, and what do we got? We got a flag back there, it looks like.
We are going to have a flag. What's going to be interesting, it was right at the point where the personal protectors watched one of the Wildcats pinwheel through the air. And we're going to have to see if this flag is against Shakopee or is it against the Wildcats.
Or do they pick it up? They're picking it up. So Eagan is going to get the football, and the Shakopee, I believe the official was standing at the 46-yard line. Well, now they're going to move back just a little bit out near. Looks like they're going to be right at midfield. There we go. Just a hair on the Shakopee side of midfield for the Wildcats with 44.8 to go. No timeouts, as you mentioned, for the Eagan Wildcats. Nathan Willis, the kicker, I would, if he has a 40-yard opportunity, I'd send him out.
Absolutely, absolutely. The question now with no timeouts, though, is can we get him on the field if we get a completion?
Absolutely. Here's Gugino. He's going to throw it on first down. And a sliding attempt, and that ball is going to fall incomplete down at about the 36-yard line. Intended target was 84 Hansen.
And, Mike, that's a well I would go back to if I'm Eagan. I mean, you know, Gugino had time. All right, he had plenty of time. He threw on rhythm. Hansen was open. The ball just didn't quite get to where it needed to get to. It's a bit short-hopped, but I'd go back. I'd let Gugino throw that ball again. Try it again. Maybe the other side of the field. Maybe run a slightly different route, but try it again.
39 seconds even to go before the half. Here's Gugino. Good job. Pressure from the outside, and he's going to. Are they going to call that a pass, or are they going to call him down? Number 5, Lett was in there for Shakopee.
Okay, well, I think the referee is doing Eagan a favor here by pointing out that there was a eligible receiver within the zip code of that ball. That was an incredibly dangerous thing to do, because if you with the penalty, if you move back from the spot of the foul, 5 yards from the spot of the foul and lose the down, suddenly we're looking at 4th down and we're punting from our own 30-yard line, and that's a decision that as a quarterback we've got to make good decisions there. Again, he's trying to make a play, and that's great effort, but we've got to remember down and distance.
Shakopee, by the way, does have 2 timeouts left, so you would think even if the Cats were to run it here, Shakopee will stop the clock. And Gugino is going to throw. He's going to come near side, and that ball is going to be nearly intercepted back there. Meakin, the intended target. Mostrom with the opportunity for the Sabres. And it looked like Mostrom was the wideout on that play, and
it absolutely did. Meakin was the defensive back. Mostrom was the wideout. You're right. What a great job by Meakin, though, that time, because he realized when that ball came off. It was hard to see maybe but on the replay. You saw Meakin adjust his route. That ball did not end up where it needed to be, where Gugino wanted to put it, in part because Gugino had a guy right in his lap, and he wasn't able to follow through on that ball.
Now, if you're a special teams coordinator for Shakopee, what do? Do you set up the return? And it looks like they're going to. Kruger gets a high kick, short kick, a favorable roll, and it's going to go inside the 15 down to about the 12-yard line. That might prohibit Shakopee from really trying to do anything here.
Well, I think we'll see who comes out to play quarterback for Shakopee. I think if you've got the sophomore out there, maybe this would be an opportunity where let's hand it to Casey on an inside veer or inside zone and just go to halftime unless he pops a big one. And if Koulis comes out, maybe they're throwing that football. We'll see.
Shakopee slow to come out after getting around their coaches. There they come off the left side of your television screen. I think both these teams will say much better first half than a week ago. Of course, Eagan was down 40 to rip at Rosemount. Eastview was up 10-0 and Shakopee at the half last week. Yeah, it looks like they're just going to take a knee. No, actually, they're going to run it with Casey. You mentioned it. Very tight formation. That should be the final play of the half on a 2-yard run by number 44. You see the clock counting down on the bottom of your screen. So here on a tackle cancer night in Wildcat country, it's the Eagan Wildcats 7, the Shakopee Sabres 7. A lot for the home team to be proud of on that half.
Yeah, very exciting performance there for the Eagan Wildcats. Obviously, they did a lot of things well. They still have a few things to fix, both on their kickoff coverage and their punt coverage, as we saw Shakopee's touchdown being scored on special teams. But we've got multiple first down drives, Mike, and multiple play drives. 12 play drives, 10 play drives by this Eagan Wildcat offense, and that's going to wear down the Shakopee defense if by the end of tonight, if they can keep that up.
All right, well, we'll see if they are able to keep it up. We're going to take a break here at halftime. We're your score once again, the Shakopee Sabres 7, the Eagan Wildcats 7. You're watching Wildcats football on ETV.
So we were walking to school. I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really
smart.
want cheese pizza.
Sometimes her mind wanders.
We should have a sleepover.
I remember saying, Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk. So we were walking to school.
I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really want
smart.
cheese pizza.
Sometimes her mind wanders.
We should have a sleepover.
I remember saying, Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
I really hope she doesn't
I
have
really
another
hope we
bad
don't
day.
have another bad day at school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
150 over 90.
180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from invisible or silent. If you've come off your treatment plan, get back on it, or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework. I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
1 in 5 children struggle with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to understood.org.
Hi, Meals on Wheels.
I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels.
I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
I remember, Dad, you and Mom got this car with a hatchback. I said, you know, I'd be happy to give you the money to get a really great car. And he said, well, no, this works for me. I says, why? Because it's the right height to put the meals in. Dad, tell me when you first got an inkling about Meals on Wheels.
There was kind of an abandoned house. That's where we got started with Meals on Wheels. We kind of filled a need for people as they got older.
It's the human interaction that probably fed them much more than the food.
Oh, yeah. When you can see somebody else benefiting by your life in some way, you can't help but feel good about it, I think.
Well, the reason I'm involved, Dad, is because you are, and you're so inspiring. How you've impacted people is enormous.
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at AmericaLet'sDoLunch.org.
America, let's do lunch.
You made her college years possible, opening that education savings account when she was little, spearheading campus tours, and deciphering financial aid. If you can ace planning for college, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
Fall is setting in, and that means that it's time for Lone Oak Days at Holtz Farm Park in Eagan. Enjoy entertainment, refreshments, and a variety of activities at Lone Oak Days at Holtz Farm in Eagan, September 22nd and 23rd, 2018.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Why don't you ever see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it. Yeah, I get it.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown, and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay. Yeah. Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in the shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then, another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I know, I
was.
heard. It wasn't you.
Yeah.
It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare?
Country. We're at the half. It's the Eagan Wildcats 7. The visiting Shakopee Sabres have 7 as well. My name is Mike Cook. Nathan Kron's alongside me here in Wildcat Country, and it's a pretty evenly played first half.
Well, it's even on the scoreboard. It was fairly evenly played on the field. I think Eagan can feel really good about their performance in the first half. They did a good job of holding onto the football. They did a good job of executing on offense. They put together multiple drives. They put together at least 3 drives with 6 to 8 plays each, including one that went from their 20 all the way down into the Shakopee near the Shakopee red zone. So a lot of good stuff there for Eagan. They've got to come out in the second half. This game's not over by a long shot. I mean, the score's tied. They've got to come out in the second half, and they need to do something. They get the ball first. Yep. They have to do something that's going to keep that momentum going for them.
Absolutely. Should mention a couple other scores around the area tonight. At the half, Minnetonka leads Prior Lake 3-0. Looks like Minnetonka just missed a wide-open touchdown pass just before halftime in that one. Rosemont's up 14-0 against Farmington down at Farmington High School, and that's who the Wildcats get next week up at the TCO Performance Center. Eastview was down, I think it was 13-0 to Edina late first half. And in the Battle of Lakeville, it's a tight one. North leads South by a 7-3 count at the break.
I think that score in the Lakeville game is certainly a bit of an eyebrow raiser, only because Lakeville North is thought to be such a great football team, and I'm sure they are a very good football team. But I think when you're dealing with a rivalry game like that, it's just different. It plays differently, it feels different, and sometimes the team with the best talent isn't always going to necessarily dominate.
Well, speaking of playing different, feeling differently, next Friday night, a reminder. Homecoming 2018 for the Wildcats, but it's not here in Wildcat Country. It's up at the TCO Performance Center. That's the new Viking headquarters there just off of 494 and Dodd. Tickets go on sale. As you see our upcoming games, all of these going to be on ETV, or scheduled to be at least. Tickets scheduled to go on sale Monday here at the high school for students, a limit of 1 per student. And I believe it's 4:30 at the east entrance they'll start selling to the general public. But for further information, check out the Eagan High School website, district196.org/EHS. And it's going to be a madhouse, dare we say, up there. First high school game at the new training facility. Homecoming, Wildcats, Farmington's going to come up. And that should be a fun time, and a 7:30 start, so don't forget that. I think gates are going to open. I think it said it's 6, but bottom line is it should be a fun night. I looked at long-range forecast. Looks like it's supposed to be nice. But right now, the Wildcats, they're in the home grays. They've got to come up with 24 minutes of good football to get their first win of the year. As you look at the pit, they've had quite a bit to cheer about tonight on a tackle cancer night here at Eagan High School. And as you mentioned, Nathan, the Wildcats are going to get the ball to start the second half. Shakopee's out there. They're ready to kick it away. And here comes the Wildcats. And we got back deep for the Eagan Wildcats on the kick team. See, should be Hanson and McGinley, I believe. Carter Lyons also does some returning as well for the Wildcats. And actually, as I say that, it is McGinley and Lyons. So Hanson gets this one off apparently for the Eagan Wildcats. About to put this one into play. Zach Coleman of the Sabres. And this will be Lyons from about his 7. Number 9 from the 7 coming near side. Tries to get to the near side. And he's going to be dropped by a host of Sabres at about the 25-yard line.
Well, Mike, coming out of halftime, the Eagan Wildcats obviously, played a good first half, a very competitive first half. They did some things in that first half that they haven't done all year. They put together a number of plays in a row. They put together a number of drives that with multiple, like I said, 6 to 8 plays at least. They also passed the football, and they did get a nice pass interference. Hanson drew a nice pass interference penalty. They were able to move the football a little bit, and so they need to come out here and they need to do the same thing they did in the first half. They need to keep doing what they were doing.
Looks like Gibson will be the up back. Lyons the deep back for the Cats here on the first play of half number 2. And we've got flags. I believe Shakopee jumped. Let's see what this infraction will be. The official word here from Seth Rourke, our official tonight. Offsides on Shakopee.
Yeah, the motion man coming across the formation. I think what happened there is the defensive tackle for Shakopee, I couldn't quite pick up his number, but the defensive tackle saw those feet flying through the formation, heard the hard count by Gugino, and then just decided, well, I think I'll just take a visit to the neutral zone.
And we mentioned Gugino is back at quarterback tonight for the Eagan Wildcats, the junior signal caller. And he'll hand it off here on first down, on first and short. And it looks like about 7 or 8 Shakopee Sabres in there on that stop, led by number 41, Jonathan Elkers. Minimal gain, maybe 2. We'll be generous. We'll give him 2 on that one. As you look at Lions, also in there quickly for Shakopee was Freitas, number 9. 2nd and 3 early stages. Quarter number 3 here on ETV. And as always, a special shout out to those of you watching us on the World Wide Web, wherever you're at tonight. And kind of tripped up as he got at the football. I believe that was Lions. And it's going to set up 3rd and long for the Wildcats.
Well, it was a quick hitting play inside, Mike. You know, it's interesting that, you know, Eagan came back on 1st and 2nd down and tried to go inside. Where they've had the most success tonight is really off tackle and outside. That's really where McGinley's had room. Carter Lyons has done a good job of stretching out plays. Again, they only need 3 yards here. Look for them to maybe give Lyons the opportunity to stretch that out.
Saw the patriotic theme tonight by the Shakopee student section. And correction, that was Cole Gibson on the last carry for the Wildcats. And, tripped up on, it was Lyons that time. He tripped over the grass, I think.
No, actually, I think it was one of the Sabres that came knifing in and was able to get a hand on his ankle just as he's running by. If he doesn't make that tackle, if he doesn't get a hand on Lyons' ankle, he's going to get that first down. There's no question in my mind. But an excellent play defensively there by Shakopee.
Let's see who it is. Yep, I think you're right. You saw just off the screen, it was big number 99, Barrett for the Sabres. Kruger to punt, but we've got flags first. Should mention, you and I mentioned it at halftime. We were down in this field before the game talking to the coaches. This field's in darn good shape considering the amount of rain we've seen here in the last 36, 48 hours.
Yes, it's absolutely been. It's been, it's been severe storm-esque for the last 2 days, last 48 hours here in the southern Twin Cities, and so this field is in good shape, as you pointed out.
We were saying we're glad there wasn't a soccer game here last night. Kruger, and eluding a tackle, and still on his feet for Shakopee. Minimal pickup, but probably fortunate to get a couple out of that. Believe, yes indeed, it was number 33, Connor Raines, the do-it-all player for the Sabres.
We don't have on the Eagan High School roster, we don't have the heights of the players, but Kruger needed every bit of his height that time as that snap was almost airmailed over his head, which would have been an absolute disaster here for the Eagan Wildcats, but he was able to corral the ball, take a few steps forward because there wasn't much pressure, and got a great kickoff.
So excellent starting position for the Sabres on their first drive of the second half. Straight ahead, this is going to be Bell. And he maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Or Blue, check that, not Bell. Timmy Blue, number 28 for the Shakopee Sabres. Good surge there by the Wildcat D.
The Wildcats definitely need to do something to get that momentum back, Mike. I mean, that was not the way to start from a first. You know, we had 1st down and 5. You know, we had 1st and 5, and we managed not to get a first down. We just can't do that.
Back in quarterback, Bigowet for the Shakopee Sabres. We mentioned in the first half, he's been their leading rusher this year. Casey, number 44, is 2nd on the rushing list for the Shakopee. And we have got an injured player, I think, on the Wildcat sidelines who's just barely off the field, and I think the referees are stopping the game so that they can try to get him farther away from that from that sideline. It was Charles Otu, one of the starting D-backs for the Wildcats. The patriotic theme there by Shakopee tonight, their student section. So I saw that young man, dare I say character, when we came to the stadium here well before game time. They were out there getting ready for this one tonight. From the pistol for them, for Shakopee, I should say. Fake the handoff. Quarterback keep. Good job of stringing him out here by the Wildcats. He's going to cut back in. He's going to need some help. Not going to get it. Finally dropped it about the 44-yard line. Good job of coming all the way back across the field by Herman.
Well, Will Herman gets a lot of credit there. The Wildcats stuck with that, and they didn't go diving for anyone's ankles. They didn't try to make a highlight reel film hit. What they really needed to do there was break down, keep the ball carrier in front of them, and wrap up on tack. Herman did a great job with that.
Yeah, Bigowitz just had nowhere to go on that.
It was a run
Third
pass.
and 13 for the Sabres.
Excuse me, Mike. It was a run pass option, and Bigowitz just did not see anything down the field.
3rd and 13. Are they going to throw it? No, they're going to run it ahead with Casey, and he'll get across midfield. That's going to be short of the first down by about 5 yards. Casey carried number 27 for the Wildcats. Jake Haley for about the last 5.
And that punt team is not coming out for Shakopee. Right now, they look like they're going to go for it.
It's about a 7-yard pickup for the Sabres.
It's going to be a long 4th down. This will be about a 4th and about 7? 4th and 6, I should say?
6, I would say, yeah. Here, some of the Shakopee coaches up here in the box, they're talking about different plays they could run tonight as we get down to 7.5 to go here in a tie football game in the 3rd quarter. And whistles a plenty. I would imagine we've got a timeout on the field, and indeed we do, and it's taken by the Shakopee Sabres.
That's a smart play. And coming up, speaking of smart plays, the Eagan High School fall play, One Man, Two Governors, is going to be debuting here on October 5th with a senior preview, running October 6th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. The tickets are available on the Eagan High School website at www.seatyourself.biz at Eagan High School. All seats are reserved. The tickets are online.
I'll tell you what, you cannot go wrong with the theater production by any of these 4 high schools in District 196. There are some very talented young men and women that are taking part in those shows.
Talented young men and women, great advisors, great teachers, great directors, great conductors. The fine arts activities in this district are, having been a product of those fine arts activities, and when I was in high school, I can say with pride they're second to none.
So it is going to be, the Sabres do decide to punt this one away on 4th and 6 basically at midfield. McGinley back deep for the Eagan Wildcats. And some of the coaches looking for McGinley. It could have been another step. Instead, he has to corral that football. And Shakopee's punter just got that football away. That was 85. Katona. Some of the coaches, I think, were maybe looking for a little interference up here.
I think a call could have been made there for a 5-yard. I don't think he was roughed. I don't think he was going to draw a 15-yarder there, which they would have needed a 15-yarder, Mike, of course, to get the first down. It was 4th down and 6 and 7. But I think you could have made a case that a 5-yarder. They made contact with the punter. No question about that.
Gugino and the Cats from their 15. Gugino looking near side. There's Hansen, and that just couldn't quite connect. That's the one Hansen's going to want back.
Absolutely. Gugino stepped back, 3-step drop, fired on rhythm, put it right on Hansen's hands, and led him and in stride. And like you said, Hansen Hansen will, and the film session on tomorrow is going to say to himself, or the coaches are going to say to him, Derek, we're going to work on that one. We're going to want that one back.
It is right here on the replay.
Yep.
Might have short armed it just a little bit there as he saw a couple of Sabres closing quickly on him. 2nd and 10 for Gugino and the Cats. And turn around, he'll hand it off. And it's going to be 3rd and really long as a number of Shakopee Sabres were in there, including Feeblecorn up from his linebacker spot, the junior number 11.
Now we'll see what happens, Mike. That time Shakopee went with 0 coverage. It was hard to see maybe on the television. That time Shakopee brought pressure from the outside, and they had one-on-one coverage, single coverage, no safety help. Well, it looked like no safety help for these wide receivers. So that'd be a situation where you'd want to throw it up and let Hansen or Meekin or one of these big guys go get it on the outside.
And it's going to be punt time for the Wildcats. As you saw, number 54 there for Shakopee, Austin McCall quickly wrapped up the ball carrier. Give him maybe a couple on that play. So Cats going to be forced to punt this one away. So thus far as we approach the halfway point of the 3rd quarter, we have a combined 0 first downs. Eagan thinks Shakopee might have touched it. Let's take a look. What are they going to say?
And that's Kruger for the first down. Mike.
First down out to the 31-yard line.
The long snap. I hope we have a replay on that one because here it comes. Watch that long snap is at his feet. Shakopee brings no pressure. And Kruger says, you know what? I'm taking green grass. I'm taking 15, 20 yards of green grass, and that's exactly what he did. What a heads-up play by Kruger.
14 yards on the run by the Wildcat punter. Just like they drew it up.
Yep, absolutely. I'm sure come film session, that'll be a fun one to watch. Unless you're the long snapper.
Pretty much. Tripped up, trying to cut back up through the middle, making something out of nothing that time. For the Wildcats, coming up off the bottom of that pile was number 12, Meakin. A couple of Shakopee Sabres in there as well.
Okay, this is a situation where that Eagan offensive line has got to assert its dominance. It's got to assert itself, and it has to get a push up front, seal the end, get a push in the B gap, whatever the requirement is. Those 5 guys up front have got to put something together here. They need to get a first down. They need to flip this field.
Pitch near side, out near the 33-yard line. A little extra shove there at the end on Carter Lyons. But it's going to set up a 3rd and 8 for the Eagan Wildcats.
Well, that time Shakopee saw what was developing. It was a pitch to the outside, out to the left side, and that time they didn't. Eagan didn't block that poorly. Eagan blocked that okay. They had a blocker at the point of attack. Lyons was setting up his block, but that time Shakopee, give credit to the Shakopee linebacking crew. They flowed very well to that ball, and they were able to take away the cutback lane.
3rd and 8 as we approach 5 to go. A rapidly moving third quarter. Gugino, a little bit deeper drop, kind of aired out near side, going for Hansen, who's got it on the Shakopee side of midfield, down to the 46-yard line. Decent coverage back there by O'Forey, but just a nice job by Hansen.
Oh, great job by Hansen going up to get that ball and then coming down with it. I mean, how many times have we seen players go up for the ball and for some reason they're just not able to come down and corral it and keep it to themselves? That time a great job of bringing it into his body. There was going to be contact either with the defensive back or with the ground, and he was able to make that happen. This is exactly what, Mike, this is exactly what Eagan needs. They've got to get a first down. They've got to move that ball, and now they've got some options.
Fresh set of downs. Gugino, McGinley. McGinley gets maybe 1 on that play. First man in for Shakopee was number 9, Frieda.
Well, Shakopee's seen the film. They know that at Eagan, against Lakeville South, Eagan did a great job of running between the tackles as well. And, if I was Shakopee, I would say, okay, guys, if you're going to beat me, you're going to beat me outside. You're going to beat me outside. You're going to beat me to the, in some other way other than grinding me down through the middle. And so, Eagan here, Shakopee's got a lot of guys stacked in that box. They've got to get to the outside. They've got to get into space.
And we've got a false start up coming on the Wildcats.
And that's kind of mental error, quite frankly, Mike, we just can't have. The Wildcats can't have those kinds of errors. You go from 2nd and 10, which is already challenging enough. Now we got 2nd and 15.
Should mention up front for the Wildcats, Taylor Elder is the center. Carson Cooper's at left tackle. 75 is Cody Smith. Tyler Hawes is playing guard, and number 79, Diego Valleda, is also playing guard tonight as Brett Heinlein gets another night off. He's nursing a little bit of an injury, so they're optimistic he'll be back next week as well. Gugino, and there's his favorite tight end. That's Call. He's going to make it about a 3rd and 9 upcoming after the 6-yard pickup.
Nice little pitching catch between Gugino and Call. That was a nice little route, a little rub route. He runs down the field, spins, turns to the outside. Gugino leads him. Nice job. Gugino, his eyes were to the left immediately, sees Call coming across the formation, and then finds him and hits him in stride. Nice play, nice pickup. It sets up at least something you can do on 3rd down. And again, the question here, Mike, I guess, at this point in the game, at this point in the field, are you in 4-down territory? I don't know. I don't think you are probably in a 7-7 game.
Tie game, 3 minutes to go in the 3rd. Yeah, I'm kicking here if
probably
they don't make
kicking.
it.
Yep.
Shakopee looks like they're bringing a lot. Lions up. They're going to come near side on the. Here comes Meakin. 45-40. That's a first down and more. Meakin gets down inside the 30, and we've got flags aplenty. There's going to be some more yardage on that one.
Yep, there's going to be a 15-yard penalty. The big block by Gugino springs Meakin around the end. A nice what would be called an ear hole block, but certainly a chip. Watch the right side of your screen. Watch Gugino right there.
Oh my!
I mean, that's the kind of blocking you want to see out of your quarterback, taking on perhaps maybe Shakopee's best defensive player, Connor Rains.
So it should be first down at the. Where are they going to spot this one?
Now, did they call a 5-yard penalty, Mike, or a 15-yard?
I missed the call, but boy, looking at the replay, that sure looks like a 15. Let's take a look here. Shakopee's all the way back like it's a 15, but let's see how far the officials go.
Yep, they're going to. It is a personal foul penalty, Mike, and so that tacks on 15 to the end of what was already a great run.
So it's going to be first down at the 14. So it looks like it's going to be an 18 yards on that run officially. They had the 15 in the student section with the "you can't do that" chant.
They are correct. In this situation, the fans are correct. You cannot do that.
But the pit has awoken. Lyons bounces to the outside. Can he get the corner? Boy, talk about a defensive job there by Rains. He tracked him down.
He absolutely did. Rains deserves a huge amount of credit there. That was I'm sure Lyons probably is thinking, I'm going to get to this corner and I'm going to get a first down. I'm going to get a touchdown. I'm going to get big yardage. Rains ran him down and cut down the angle. And not only that, but made a great open field tackle too. I mean, how many times have we seen somebody hit Lyons and they bounce off or Lyons spins out of it? But great wrap job there.
Weird to say here in week 4, but Cats looking to take their first lead of the season. Gugino throw, we got a flag. Pass is caught, I believe, by Meekin. They're going to say it's down to the 6, but let's see what the hanky is all about.
Now this will be an interesting call. If the penalty is on the Sabres, will they take the yardage down or will they advance? They probably will take the yardage. Oh, take it back. It is a false start against Eagan. Interesting, Mike. They didn't blow that play dead. Maybe we've got an illegal motion. That's really what the call really is. But it's 5 yards back in any event for Eagan, and we're going to have a repeat of what should be second down.
So this will be the 12th play of the drive. It started back on the Wildcat 15 and included that 14-yard run by the Eagan punter, Kruger. And you think about it, that's really what has got this drive going. Maybe that was the spark the Cats needed. 2nd and 12 for the Eagan Wildcats from the 16. Gugino straight ahead. No, actually they're going to go outside. Close to a first down, and we got a penalty flag. Looks like, is it going to be a hold on the Wildcats?
Yeah, Mike, it's going to be a hold on big number 75. It looked. I think they're going to get Cody Smith here for holding. Unfortunate, but I think it's a good call. You've got him on top of a guy in the defense offensive backfield.
And again, it's Meekin that time on the.
And there you saw the pile.
Yeah, I went with the Lions up the middle initially.
Yep.
So did a few of the Shakopee players. Well, bottom line is it's holding on the Wildcats.
And really unfortunate, Mike, because he didn't need to hold him there. Now, he did need to stay on his block, but he did need to hold him to prevent that from going. And now we go from a situation where we've got on second down, we had second down and, not goal, but we had second down and 15. Now we've got about second down and about 25.
At the 28-yard line.
And that's 2 positive plays in a row that have been negated by penalty. And it's just, we can't make mental mistakes, guys. We just can't do it.
And if you want to think field goal, this might be a little too far for Willis, right, from where they're at right now. Gugino is going for it all. And there's contact back there, and they're going to get a flag.
And that's going to be 15 yards and an automatic first down, I think, against Shakopee.
Elijah Ofori, he not happy with the call.
He's not, but he doesn't have much of a defense here. Hansen was running free, and he had his arm on him and was keeping him from trying to get to that ball. I don't see any way he could not call that. Yep. There's contact, lots of contact.
All over him, yeah.
And he's bulldogging him to the outside, so I think that's a decent call.
I dare say an easy call, really, from where that official had their positioning.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, they're not calling defensive pass interference. They're calling defensive holding.
Okay.
So that's 3 straight plays, Mike, where we've had penalties. What an interesting turn of events. Now we've got second down. We're back to, it's a 10-yard penalty going the other way. And we've got second down and back to 2nd and 15 or so, which is what we had 2 plays ago.
Yeah, I believe it's 2nd and 14 at the 18. The sticks have not moved there on the far side of the field. They're just outgrowing roots, dare we say at this point. It's Cats can get something, trying to get to the outside. And guess who in there for Shakopee to bust up things again? Number 33, that's Connor Raines.
Yeah, I have to admit, Mike, if I was calling the offensive game plan for Eagan, I might say to myself, okay, what side am I going to run to? And if I see 33 on that side, I might switch to the other side.
Absolutely.
I might go opposite to try to make him run across the field to get to me, as opposed to running right at him. Now, the other way to look at it is, well, let's just double team him and blow him up and see if we can get 2 or 3 big guys on him. But he's going to make a play if you run at him and try to beat him around the edge.
See, inside a minute to go in the third. This drive started with 7:17 to go in the quarter. Gugino, good pressure by Shakopee, and that ball is loose. Oh,
I believe they're going to say that is an incomplete pass. And I think that's a good call, although we're lucky. The Wildcats are going to be lucky here that was an incomplete pass.
Yeah, Brian Lett came through at him. He might have been touched briefly. Let's take a look. I would have thought that's a fumble. Yeah, he wasn't going for it. He was just holding on to the ball. I think the Cats might have got lucky there.
Well, that being said, Carter Lyons picked up the ball and looked like he was going to scamper for 25 yards. So maybe that was an unlucky call too. In any event, I think we're going to see our first field goal attempt of the year for
Nathan Willis.
For Mr. Willis.
There he is, number 20 there. He's counting how many, make sure he's got enough guys.
That's always a good plan if you're a kicker.
Absolutely.
Make sure you have enough blockers.
He's going to put the tee at the 25-yard line. 35-yard attempt. Meekin is the holder. Max Meekin, the holder. Willis from 35. Little snap kick is off, though. It looks like plenty of distance. And that looks like that one's good. And indeed it is. Nathan Willis, 35 yards. Cats up 10-7.
And that is Eagan's first lead of the season. As you said, Mike, earlier, this is really exciting territory for the Wildcats. I don't imagine they're going to get big heads at this point. But nonetheless, they've got to be really excited about being in a position heading into potentially the fourth quarter with a lead in a football game. And now it's going to be, can you guys finish? Are you mentally tough so you can finish?
And you saw the pit there a moment ago. There's some excitement in this stadium on the home side. We have not seen that in a long time here in Wildcat country.
Well, we haven't had a reason for it, right? I mean, we haven't, in the last couple of, last season and even this season at the home site it's been a drought. And so, you were sharing the statistics with me before the game that Eagan hasn't won here since 2015.
August 2nd, 2015, the Wildcats beat Farmington here. That was the last home win for the Wildcats. They were 0-9 in 2016, won one game last year, and that was the second half rally at Shakopee for 31-21 win. And they are 0-3 coming into this one. I was also joking at that game. It was Ted Klunder and Jay Jensen on the call. If that throws back a few names for you. TK, I believe, is actually watching tonight's game from Sioux Falls, where Gus Klunder, the former Wildcat quarterback, is a redshirt freshman for Augustana. And they have a big city rivalry game with Sioux Falls College tomorrow. So good luck to Gus and the Vikings.
Not that it's apparent on this broadcast, but I can actually see my breath right now. That's really exciting if you like cold weather.
From the 40, there's Willis. He'll put that right leg into it. And Shakopee will get a return from the 11. Out near the 25, looking for a seam. Good return by the Sabres. That pile continues to move out near the 36-yard line. It's coming up off the bottom of the pile for the Shakopee Sabres. Indeed, it was Hinton, number 6.
Now, here's an opportunity, Mike. I mean, if we've talked about it on every broadcast this year. Every game has moments. Every game has times when a team can really grab a hold of the game, grab control of the game, and not let it go. A turnover, even a 3-and-out here by the Wildcat defense, or a turnover would be huge for this football team. I'll be interested to see if the defensive coaches can dial something up here that maybe Shakopee hasn't seen. Either bringing pressure, dropping 8 guys. I don't know what it is, but doing something that's going to make Shakopee have to work and have to try something new.
He go into the quarterback. Gives it to Casey straight ahead. Whatever the down up, it didn't work there because Casey down the near sideline. He's got one man to beat. 15, and he's down to the 12-yard line. 52-yard run for Casey.
Well, I'm not sure Casey was touched for the first 10 yards of that, Mike. The Wildcats they've got to do a better job of plugging their gaps up front. That's not something that you can allow to have happen. And we just got done saying it. You know, you have a chance to go into the fourth quarter with a lead. There's only 10 seconds left, but Shakopee's up at the line of scrimmage. They're going to try to run another play.
Well, the correction, they're going to spot it at the 11, so that's a 53-yard. Here comes Casey. Can he go the final? Nope, he's going to get about 4 that time. On what is the final play of quarter number 3? So hang with us, fans. We've got an exciting fourth quarter upcoming. Shakopee down by 3, but they are knocking on the door. 10-7 Wildcats after 3. You're watching ETV. You're home for Wildcat Sports.
He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for 1. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Why don't you ever see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it. Yeah, I get it.
Well, we said it is a tackle cancer night here in Wildcat country. They are definitely hanging out here in the pit. Exciting times as the Cats up 10-7 as we get set for fourth quarter action here on ETV. By the way, Rosemount now up 21-0 at Farmington. Cats in Farmington next week at the TCO Performance Center.
Well, Shakopee coming to the line here. We'll see what they've dialed up. They've got 2nd down and 7 as we set up the play, Mike. But what can Eagan do here? What can Eagan dial up that's going to stop these guys?
Well, you got to focus on Casey, number 44, and he's going to get the ball once again. And they really didn't focus on Casey because he finds the end zone. Touchdown Shakopee. 11 yards on that run for number 44. And it's 13-10 Sabres.
Well, it was a Casey drive from beginning to end, and that time, that time what we really are looking for, we're looking for somebody to come a step up and make a play. That time, Casey again, he's heading to the line of scrimmage, Mike, and there's no one there. There's just no one there for him to either slow him down, to break his stride, and he's running downhill, and he's a big, strong back. And once he starts running downhill, old number 44 is going to make some yardage.
Zach Coleman, PAT, an important point here. And it's good, 14-10. Cats are going to need at least the touchdown now. We're going to look at the patriotic theme over on the Shakopee student section. That drive was 3 plays, 64 yards, all by number 44, Jack Casey. Took all of 30 seconds.
Well, if there's a positive in that, Mike, it's that Egan's got plenty of time to move this ball down the field. They've put together a lot of long drives tonight, and quite frankly, that defense for Shakopee has been out on the field a lot tonight. I'm not going to suggest that being ahead. I'd rather be ahead and have my defense out there way too much than be behind. But the bottom line is that maybe the Wildcats can get something going here with a defense for Shakopee that has been on the field a lot tonight.
Update from Lakeville. North leads South 14-3. Late third quarter in the Battle of Lakeville. The top-ranked Lakeville North Panthers right now. By the way, update, it's now 28-0 Rosemount over Farmington. Goes McGinley for the Wildcats out near the 20. Runs into his own guy, stays on his feet, 25. Bounces the outside, tries to sidestep a couple of guys, unable to do so, nonetheless out to the 31-yard line. Bryce Janke, the man that finally trips him up for Shakopee.
Well, it's a good return there by the Wildcats. McGinley doing a nice job of setting up his blocks, breaking through that first line right there, breaking a tackle and then getting to the outside. And you have to wonder if maybe there was we had held a couple of blocks down the field a little bit longer, maybe he would still be running. But ultimately, the Wildcats do, Mike, have good field position. I mean, they're not in their own shadow, their own goalpost. They're on their 31-yard line, and they need 6 points.
Wow. Down 14-10, straight ahead run out near the 38-yard line. They'll get 6 there on first down. Good pickup for the Wildcats. Just straight ahead Lions. I would imagine we'll see a lot of number 9 the rest of the way for the gray and blue Eagan Wildcats.
Well, what will be interesting, Mike, I agree with you, and what I'm wondering is whether they're going to try to get him off tackle and let him set up those blocks, or whether they're going to run him hard downhill like they did just there. that's the kind of play, quite frankly, that Shakopee's been stuffing for the last say quarter or so. So we'll see what they've got dialed up here.
2nd and 4. Shakopee looked like they jumped a little bit, and we've got mass confusion. Like Shakopee jumped, Eagan held, but then they got back, and then there was whistles, and I think it's going to be a false start on Eagan ultimately.
Yeah,
it is.
You're right. You're absolutely right. That was the challenge with snap. As a former offensive lineman, I will say to you that the challenge with the snap count being complicated is that sometimes it can be complicated. And I don't think that's one that the coaches are going to enjoy watching tomorrow in the film session.
Is that one where the center just, I mean, you don't want to point out an obvious one, but it sure looked like Taylor Elder just missed the count on that one.
He might have. It's possible. It's also possible he's the smartest guy in the room and everyone else screwed up.
That could be too. 2nd and long for the Cats. Gugino looking to throw. A little swing pass far side, and out near the 40-yard line is number 1, Cole Gibson. That might be Cole's first reception of the year. But just that little swing pass worked out. It's going to set up a 3rd and about 3.
That's certainly a makeable 3rd down. That was a nice little swing to the outside, and unfortunately, again, it's a situation where an ankle tackle keeps Cole Gibson from breaking it. I mean, he minus that ankle tackle, Michael. He's able to break through, and he's able to use those blocks to get down the field. Probably gets the 1st down.
Straight ahead, Cats. Interesting call now. It's going to be a 4th down and short. What do you do if you're Coach Hansen, as field court made the stop there for Shakopee?
Quite frankly, I'd probably keep my offense out on the field. I think given that we are in the 4th quarter with less than 10 minutes to play, I think they, it looks like they're gonna
think about it.
Well, actually, we've got an officials. That's an officials timeout, Mike.
Wow.
I think they're going to measure. I think they're going to measure to see exactly how much they need here.
My initial thought was they're
half yard, maybe.
Well, they're moving Eagan back. Okay, here come the chains. I believe we call this a big measurement right here.
Yeah, it's not insubstantial.
Wow. Let's take a look. How close?
Oh, geez,
that close. 4th and literally 4th and inches on that one upcoming for the Wildcats.
Yeah, I think I'd be tempted if I was Coach Hansen to run this football and try to run this. Now the question is, what do you do? I mean, last time we had 4th and short, we handed it off to I think it was McGinley.
Yep.
Now the question is, do we have Gugino take the snap and just fall forward?
Nope. Instead he goes, and guess what? Shakopee held.
It's going to be real close. It depends on who's got the spot.
Yeah, Shakopee thinks they got him. My initial thought was they got the stop. I'm guessing we're going to see the chains here. We saw Freitas jumping up and down number 9 wearing white. Boy,
I don't think that ball moved too much.
I think they might have lost a little bit.
I think
Shakopee's going to take over. Let's take a look. Here comes the chains.
They are going to measure again.
Got a great shot there from our ETV crew tonight. You're going to see it right here. How close are the Wildcats to a 1st down? Watch the guys in white. They're going to celebrate. There they are. Yep. They might have lost maybe half a foot. Well, that's huge play for the Sabres, and you can see their fans are, shall we say, enjoying that.
Yeah, absolutely, and they have every right to enjoy it. As a defensive unit, that's the kind of stuff that they write songs about, that they make movies about. The dramatic music comes up. That's the kind of stuff that makes it. That's the stuff you remember. Remember that time, boys, when we stopped them on 4th down and short in that game? Now the question becomes: can Eagan reciprocate? What can the Eagan defense do to stop Casey?
Shakopee is spread basically all over the field in this formation. Straight ahead. Speaking of Casey, bounces off one man, still on his feet. Apparently Downs able to wrestle him down after a pickup of about 5. That was a play that really was busted up after about 2, but Casey's effort got him a few extras there.
Well, he's a fine athlete. He's a hard runner. I mean, Eagan's got, look, the bottom line is here, Eagan knows where that ball's going. Now, Casey's coming off, Blue's coming on. Looks like Blue's coming on. So they've got to do something. They've got to do something here. They know this ball's going to be run. They need to come up and play it.
Brian Hinton there in that left slot. I'm wondering if they maybe think to go to him. Now give it straight ahead. Oh, nice open field tackle there by the Wildcats, McGinley.
Now that was an excellent stop, Mike. You're absolutely right. What a great tackle there by McGinley, making sure he gets the wrap up, brings the ball carrier to the ground. It's a nice, loss of one maybe.
Yeah, we'll give them the no gain. We'll give them the benefit.
Now that being said, with the clock running with just over eight and a half minutes left, Mike, the Wildcats do have to get a stop here. They can't let this clock keep running until down inside 4 minutes.
Right. And most importantly, you cannot let Shakopee put 6 on the board. They're going to throw it. Shakopee coaches, you can hear them up in the box, just not quite there.
Well, they were very excited, and for good reason. They had a big wide receiver on a small defensive back. They had a ball that hit the receiver in the hands. Now, what will be interesting here is what's Shakopee going to do here? Now, this is interesting. They have 4th down and about 6 yards to go. Is Shakopee going to punt this football, or are they going to go for it?
They're going for it.
Now, that's an interesting call. You have an opportunity to pin an offense in Eagan that has not been prolific this year back deep. Yet at the same time,
but devil's advocate, this punt goes into the end zone. You net all of 16 yards.
That's true. But if or
do you just try and draw Eagan off?
Yeah, maybe.
They might have got away with one there on a false start. Quarterback keep 35-30, and that's going to be a first down for the Shakopee Sabres. As Bigowet, the big keep, gets down to the 27-yard line, picks up 9.
Well, Bigowet deserves a tremendous amount of credit there. What a great job of running with this football and absorbing the tackle at the end, but a good job of making a quick decision, realizing that he had an opportunity with his feet to make that run. Now that we've got 1st and 10, I mean, 44 is back on the field. I expect, quite frankly, I would expect Casey between the tackles.
I would too.
Let's see if I could take that to the bank.
Well, you look at the start of that last play, and I thought one of their linemen might have got back just a hair early, but officials did not agree. Bottom line is it's first down Sabres. And we're going to have ourselves, I believe, a timeout taken here by Shakopee. There's some confusion on the Sabres sideline. That'll give us a chance to maybe talk about some other Eagan sports that are going on. Here's the fall season. Weird to say, but it's starting to wind down already. I mean, here we are, September 21st, and I look at soccer. I think they have 2 weeks left in the regular season. Right now, girls soccer, they're number 2 in Class AA behind Edina, 7-0-3. They beat Farmington 3-0 last Tuesday. Julia Berger and Abigail McKenzie 4 goals apiece. Grace Schoberg's got 3 assists. They're home to Lakeville South next Tuesday. Boys soccer 6-3-1. Look at Nathan. Mike, hi. Ryan Erickson's got 5 goals for the boys team. They're here on this field 11 a.m. tomorrow against Crystal Ray Jesuit. Girls swimming, they're ranked 8th in AA. They beat Eastern 99-87 last night, including a pool record in the 200 free relay. And we'll talk more here in a moment after this play for the Shakopee Sabres. Guess who? There's Casey, just barreling his way down to the 16-yard line. That's 11 tough yards, but there is a yellow flag on the field back at the 28-yard line.
I think this is going to be a hold on the Shakopee Sabres offensive line. It looked like, yep, absolutely. 64 there's got his hands outside the frame. He's wrestling, bear hugging one of the defenders to the ground. So it's going to be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. It's going to set up probably, it's going to be real close to first down and 20, Mike, by the time they get done walking off this yardage.
And Jade Treestead, the guilty party for the Sabres. A couple other Eagan sports updates. We mentioned that 200 free relay. Laura Mitchell, Grace Erickson, Abby Hopwell, Jen Lennertz for the girls swim team. Volleyball, man, what a tough conference. Lakeville South is 2nd, North is 3rd, Egan's 4th, Shakopee 6th. Lakeville North beat Shakopee last night in 4 games. Eagan beat Burnsville in 3. All those teams right now are playing this weekend in the big Eagle Invitational in Apple Valley, which is really a de facto state tournament. Such good volleyball being played at Apple Valley High School. And the tennis team beat Burnsville 6-1 yesterday as well. On 1st and 20, Casey on the ball carry. On the ball carry, that sounded weird. Carrying the ball. That too. Yeah, exactly. Bottom line is he gets down to the 29-yard line. About an 8-yard pickup for Casey.
I'm going to rub my temples here, Mike, and think, what would I do if I was Shakopee in this case? There's one of 2 things I do. Either give it to Casey again until these Eagan Wildcats can stop him, or put it in Casey's stomach, pull it out, and then dump it to one of these big outside receivers if I can get a favorable matchup.
I think you run option 1 until it doesn't work. Casey runs into the pile. Might have got back to the line of scrimmage that time, as the Cats were all over that one on the defensive call. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 12 with 6.5 to go in, dare we say, regulation.
Yeah,
it's been a long time since we've used those words in Wildcat country.
That's right. Well, we'll see what Shakopee can dial up. I mean, the question if you're the Shakopee coaching staff is, do you want to put the ball in the hands of number 10, your sophomore quarterback, or do you want to give it to Casey again? Now, if you think you're in 4-down territory, which they probably are, I think you give it to Casey, and then set yourself up for a makeable 4th down.
Bigowett's the quarterback. Casey's back there with him. Sending a man in motion. That's Raines. They're going to throw it. They're going to go deep down the sideline. There's push-offs everywhere. And you can look. Katona's got the catch. Cats are screaming for a flag.
And they got it. They got it, Mike. They got the flag. The back judge, the back judge fell down on the play and was not able to pull his flag fast enough. But there was clearly a push. And the penalty is going to be assessed against Shakopee, wiping out what would have been a touchdown call. But it was a good call. It's unfortunate for the receiver for 85. That's Katona. But the fact of the matter is he did extend his arm, and I think what happens is the referees see that, they see the defensive back fall down, and it's an easy call for him.
And there is the official signal.
Yeah.
You know, to that official's credit, he was falling down and still saw the play.
Yes, his eyes were still on it. He was on his stomach, but his eyes still saw it.
So as soon as the ball is going to come back out to the 44-yard line, a 15-yard loss for Shakopee.
And it's going to be 3rd down and almost 30 here, Mike. I mean, it's going to get close to 3rd and 30.
3rd and 27 officially.
And again, same question. Do you put the ball in the hands of your sophomore quarterback, or do you give it to Casey? Now, this is a situation where, quite frankly, you might as well let your quarterback try to throw the football. I don't think Casey's going to get either on 3rd or 4th down. I think you can give 2 shots. I don't think they're going to get 27 yards and 2 shots.
They're going to talk about it. Yep. This is the last time out for Shakopee. Give us one more opportunity. Let's talk about next Friday night in Wildcat country at the TCO Performance Center. It'll be homecoming 2018. The Eagan Wildcats hosting the Farmington Tigers. Weird to say hosting when the game is going to be up at the new Vikings training facility. Again, just off 494 and Dodd. Let's look at that last play. Again, tickets to go on sale, scheduled to go on sale Monday the 24th here at Eagan High School. The kids are going to have a chance during I believe before school actually, to buy tickets. Then after school, adults and the general public are going to have an opportunity. $7 and $5 here at the school. Cash only, by the way. Probably not going to see tickets available at the stadium that night. Again, all the details on the district or the Eagan High School website, district196.org/EHS.
And Mike, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about some of the great camera work we're getting from our crew here at ETV. I mean, that great job catching that pass and catching that pass interference call. And it sets up a huge play here. I mean, this is with a little less than 6 minutes to go. This series is clearly going to be deciding.
And the pit is definitely excited. You can see the shaking going on. Shakopee going to air it out down the middle. And going to be caught. No, knocked down at the 21-yard line. They were going for 85 once again. Katona, but good coverage back there by McGinley.
McGinley rose up for the Katona had that ball. I mean, that was a good ball. It was right at his hands. He was going to make that catch. McGinley made an excellent play on the ball, and really, candidly, Mike did a great job not interfering. I mean, that with the physical contact that was involved, it would have been easy for there to be pass interference. It wasn't. And suddenly now we've got a punt from Shakopee.
Katona to kick it away. McGinley stands back at about his own 11 for the Wildcats. 5:46 to go in this one. Cats are going to have 3 timeouts, and that punt is going to. Wow, what a punt there by Katona. That's going to be out of bounds at about the 4-yard line. Looks like maybe the 3 even. Well, the Cats are going to have to earn this one.
That's right.
97 yards away from taking the lead, 5:39 to go. 3 timeouts for the Eagan Wildcats. As we said, looking to get their first W of the year and win at home for the first time in almost 3 years. October 2nd, 2015, last home win for the Wildcats. Hey, you mentioned our crew. Let's talk real briefly. Nick Muddy is here tonight. Aaron Thomas, Greg Borman, Michelle Nielsen, Josh Sibley is here tonight. Again, that's part of the whole ETV crew. Gruber is here as well. Happy everybody can be here. Ken Gibson made an appearance here tonight, so great to have everybody helping us out tonight. And the Cats are going to get a minimal gain. Actually, nice second and third effort out to the 10. That pile continues to move. Boy, Carter Lyons, he is pumped, moving that line. And Cody Smith out there helping him as well, number 75.
Well, that's exactly what they needed. It was an inauspicious start there of that play where Lyons was bending it back in towards the goal line. It was getting a little bit scary. The Shakopee coaches to our immediate left were pretty excited, and they had a lot to be excited about. But Carter Lyons with an excellent individual effort, getting that ball pushed out, and now we're looking at second down and about 4. It's 3 or 4, and it's a makeable second down.
Absolutely. McGinley and Lyons, they're going to line up behind Gugino. From their own 11 for the Cats. Straight ahead, or Lyons will come off right side. He's got a little bit of a seam, and he'll get out near the 20-yard line. That's going to be a first down, Eagan. Actually, that's Cole Gibson. Check that. Gibson making an appearance there with his first carry of the game. He had a reception earlier.
Nice carry to the outside, a nice seal block to the inside, a nice push to the outside, and Gibson picking it and moving forward. Now, I'm sure Coach Hansen's told these guys, look, guys, there's not a lot of time left in this football game. We don't want to go north, east, west. We got to go north, south. We got to move these chains. And so don't dance around in the backfield. Be decisive and hit the gap hard.
Back-to-back 8-yard runs get the Cats out to the 20. Shakopee looking to bring some guys. Gugino's going to come near side, call the catch, and he went down. He did get it. Got that one just above the turf. Nice reception there by the Eagan tight end.
As much as I like the call and I like the opportunity to move the ball forward down the line, there's a lot of time running off here, Mike. And if we're I'd like Eagan to have a chance to continue to run the football a little bit. But the only way that's going to happen is if we get some bigger chunks of yardage.
Absolutely. I mean, the clock will stop briefly on a first down, but here's McGinley. And it's going to be, might have got back to the line of scrimmage. More likely you could say he lost half a yard there.
Yeah, if
Eagan's going to be 3rd and 6 with 3.5 to go.
Yeah, excuse me, Mike. If Eagan has a couple of plays in the playbook that they haven't shown on tape yet, that they haven't used yet, maybe it's a screen, it's a bubble screen, it's a whatever it is, right, that they haven't shown, this would be the time to break it out because they need to get some chunks of yardage and they need to do it quickly.
Give it the Lions. Oh, nice job. He's tripped up by Shakopee. That is number 9? Of course it is. It's got to be number 9. Freitas, he's busted up a lot of plays tonight for the Sabres. And timeout taken by the Eagan Wildcats, who are going to be facing a 4th and about 7. And you got to go for it.
Absolutely. Well, absolutely. You're absolutely right, Mike. I mean, they're in 4-down territory. No question. I mean, the whole field is 4-down territory at this point, being down 4 points with 3 minutes to go. But again, they've got to come up, and that time they had the seal. That play there they had the seal to the outside. But for that ankle tackle in the backfield, he's going to get a first down. I mean, and who knows? He might have had ripped off 20. They had great blocking at the point of attack, but they had leakage in the back, and that's, again, we were talking about it before. If one offensive lineman falls off the block or doesn't close down that seal, then suddenly the whole offensive line, the whole offensive unit's going to struggle. So right now they got to dig deep. They got to block their assignments. They got to play hard. They got to dig deep, and they got to make something happen here on if you're wearing blue and gray.
Here it is. This Shakopee gets the stop, and dare we say this one's over.
Now, it might be interesting to see if they can draw Shakopee off. They might try to draw him off and then take another timeout.
Gugino is going to look near side, across the middle. There was contact. And it is going to be caught. I believe that should be enough to move the sticks.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a first down.
Hansen, I believe, the receiver.
But by taking the penalty, now it's interesting. Did they call pass interference or did they call holding? A nice catch nonetheless by Hansen, regardless of whether he was either interfered with or held.
Seth Rourke is our referee this evening.
But if it's pass interference, that means the clock will stop regardless until the ball is snapped. Yep, it's going to be pass interference. So they're So they take the pass interference penalty, wipe away the good catch by Hansen, which is unfortunate. But the sticks move. 1st and 10 Eagan, now on their 39-yard line with just less than 3 minutes to go and the 2 timeouts.
Yep. Gino, another long count for the Cats. Here comes Lyons. And dances his way up to about the 44-yard line. Gets about 5. I think the Cats have got to jump into a hurry up here, don't they?
Very soon, if not right now. They definitely do need to. I want them to be able to use that run still and not go away from that completely, but they've got to get some chunks of yardage.
A little confusion here. They were trying to go to the hurry up, it looks like. Here's Gugino. Let's see if he puts it up here on 2nd and 5. He will. Got to scramble, good pressure. And he's got a man out here at midfield. I believe that's probably Hansen. The guy slipped down. No, actually, it's called the tight end out to the 45-yard line.
And he catches the ball inbounds, and the clock still runs, and it's a minimal gain. That's really one that we would have been better off just with an incomplete pass.
Yep. 3rd and 4 as we're inside 2 to go.
Cats taking a lot of time here, Mike.
Absolutely. I was thinking they have not run a 2-minute offense yet this year. Have not had the opportunity. Good pressure by Shakopee. And that's going to be a sack, and that's got to be a timeout taken by the Wildcats. A couple of them in there for Shakopee, including number 5, Brian Lett, and number 34, Tommy Bazare. 4th and 5 upcoming after the sack. A couple other score updates. Lakeville North up 21-3 with 5 minutes to go, so it looks like they're going to win the Battle of Lakeville. Farmington's down 35-7 to Rosemount. Late 3rd quarter last we saw. And Edina now leads Eastview 16-3 after 3 quarters. So Eastview was ranked 10th in the state in the latest poll. Don't ask me how they got to a number 10 ranking. They beat Burnsville, they beat Shakopee, but they were close with Eden Prairie. They're much improved, I have no doubt. But top 10.
Well, that's polls in the middle of the season. What are they good for? Not much other than to give guys like you and me something to talk about, right?
Bottom of the birdcage.
Here's the issue. I mean, here's the question: if you're the Eagan Wildcats, are you trying to get a first down here, or are you trying to score a touchdown? And I think candidly, I think you got to get a first down. Just get the first down, and we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, 1 minute, one at a time. 4th and 5. Shakopee, they thought about trying to jump. Pass across. That ball is caught. What a catch on the far side by Hansen, and he signals first down. 12 yards on the catch.
Well, this has been a coming out party for Hansen. He had an earlier drop, but since then he's been all over this field making some great catches.
Look at that right there, in traffic. 1:31 to go. Gugino. And that ball incomplete. Hansen looking for the call.
There's a little bit of contact there. Hansen's running, but quite frankly, he has to sell that harder. I mean, he has to run harder and really show that he's being interfered with. I mean, he was just too close. He didn't try to get enough separation that the officials could keep the flag in their pocket. But you're a high school football player, Mike. This is where you want to be. I mean, you'd rather be ahead than behind, but a minute and a half left, 1 timeout. You're on the opposition 45-yard line. Let's see what we can do. Let's have some fun.
2nd and 10 at the 44. Gugino to throw. Gugino pressure, rolling. He's going to throw that one away. Probably a wise move there by the junior.
No, that was a good decision. That was an excellent decision. And the Eagan bench is looking for maybe watch Gugino at the end of this play. There might have been, you could argue that 99, that Travis Garrett might have, well, if you're going to call roughing the passer earlier with a little bit of embellishment against Eagan, maybe you could have thrown the flag there, but that would have been a soft call. I'll agree with you.
At this point in the game, yeah, good luck on that one.
Yeah.
118, 3rd and 10. Cats have one timeout remaining.
Well, they don't need a field goal, so they don't have to worry about spending it to try to get Willis on the field. They just need to get down the field.
Gino to throw. Shakopee brings the heavy pressure. He's got her downfield. Got his man. That's Hansen. 20. Call check that. Down to the 26-yard line. That's 18 on the catch. 17 to 87 for 18 yards. First down at the 26.
And what a great play by Gugino, hanging in that pocket. There's a moment here where it looks like he's going to run with the ball. Looks like he's going to keep going. Looks down the field, keeps his eyes down the field, and finds Hansen. What an excellent play there, and great, another great catch in traffic by Hansen. But the way Gugino stayed with that ball,
I'd say the poise he showed on that.
Absolutely.
2 weeks ago, he would have had happy feet, no question. Gugino, swing pass. Upended. Still pick up for the Wildcats. It's about 5. It was Gibson, I believe, on the reception.
Egan's got to get to this line faster.
Yes,
They've got to go faster. We've burned almost 15 seconds getting lined up here.
You see the clock ticking at the bottom of your screen. And now the Cats take a timeout.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. You said it, Nathan. They probably cost themselves 15 seconds there.
Well, 20 seconds. That ball the tackle was made with just under 1 minute to play. Now we're sitting at 40 seconds. That's, I understand that clock management has, we haven't had a test of clock management yet this year, but I have to say that's really unfortunate for Eagan. And right now, okay, look, Eagan's going to be throwing the football. I mean, as much as now with no timeouts left, they can't run the football anymore. The Shakopee defensive line is going to come flying up that field, okay? The offensive line and those backs that are protecting Gugino cannot catch a block. They have to go deliver a blow. Watch on your screen. Do the other backs, do the backs for Eagan attack the line of scrimmage in the blitzers, or are they going to sit back and let Gugino have somebody in his lap? They've got to attack the line of scrimmage.
Well, they added a couple seconds there. It's 42 to go. The Pitt, they're on their feet on a tackle cancer night. Well, how's the Pitt going to react if Eagan punches this one in?
Let's find out.
Gugino. Good pressure by Shakopee. Gugino's got to get rid of that football. That's going to be a loss back to the 28-yard line. That's an 8-yard loss on the sack. And the Cats seem to be in absolutely no hurry here. Hey, you spike it here, don't you? Yeah, absolutely. But, boy, no sense of urgency whatsoever by the team in gray.
Well, it sets up a 4th down, and it's a bit mystifying as to how that can be. Those guys need to get to the line faster. I mean, even if you don't know what the play is, you've got to hustle back. The wide receivers were, offensive line was kind of taking their time. We need to be show a little more urgency, boys and girls. I mean, we just got to be there.
They're going to put the clock up to 24. He can add that 1.6, but if they don't make this play, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
You saw offensive coordinator Adam Copeland. He was talking to Gugino. I think Gugino looking to work some magic.
Well, if I'm Shakopee, I'm going to double cover Hansen.
Absolutely.
I'm going to double cover Hansen. I guess this would be an opportunity where if we can get the ball to McGinley or Lyons in space and let them make something happen, out to the flat or something, that might work too.
I believe that's Hansen top of the screen. I would imagine you throw a jump ball to him. No, you're going to go down underneath. Oh, and he slips and falls, and it's going to be Shakopee's going to win. Meekin the reception. But he got all of 6. He needed 6 more. Cats are going to fall just short.
Well, what's interesting here, Mike, is that when Meekin catches that ball, I would swear that they were looking for a hook and ladder. There was watch this. He catches the ball, and there's somebody right there behind him clapping his hands to the left of your screen saying, "Give me the ball, give me the ball."
Yeah, I don't think it was designed, but boy, I sure think whoever that back was following up. I think he saw it.
Yeah.
And Shakopee they're going to take a knee, and they are going to escape. Wildcat country with a 14-10 win.
Credit to Shakopee for persevering and being mentally tough. I mean, they made some good plays when they had to. They did a good job of containing, the momentum here for Eagan. This is a bitter defeat for Eagan because this is a game they felt like they could win, and they played well enough. They played well enough to get a result here, and they didn't get it.
There's the final horn, and your final, a dejected group of Eagan Wildcats. 14-10, the Shakopee Sabres get the win. Shakopee improves to 2-2 on the year. The Wildcats are going to fall to 0-4. But boy, by far their best game of the season.
Absolutely, Mike. There's a lot to be, if you're an Eagan Wildcat fan, if you're a supporter, a parent, you're part of the pit. Tonight's the kind of effort and the kind of result that, while you want to see them win the football game, no question, based on what we had last week, based on what we've had in previous weeks, this was definitely an improvement. There's stuff here to build on. They're going to have another game against another Farmington team next week that they think they should be competitive against. So that's really what they have to focus on. And win or lose, it's going to be fun to watch a little bit of this film anyway and say, hey, what did we do well? And for guys who haven't had a lot of success, like you said, Mike, hadn't even had a lead this year.
Nope.
For them to step up and create an opportunity for them to get a lead in the almost fourth quarter, that's a big deal.
Yep. So on that, sad note, shall we say, that's going to wrap it up here in Wildcat Country, where your final in a very entertaining football game. It's the Shakopee Sabres 14, the Eagan Wildcats 10. So on behalf of our entire ETV crew, he's Nathan Kranz, I'm Mike Cook. We'll see you next time, and that'll be at the TCO Performance Center, Homecoming 2018, the Wildcats and the Tigers. Next Friday night. We'll see you then here on ETV.